male you know is straightening their hair? Let's be real.
Okay, sister, back in my day,
my brother, let's be real.
I'm trying to be respectful. Back in my day, when I was growing up, the Jerry curl was a big thing. Having a Jerry curl was like a fashion. So that's why I straightened the hair to get the curls, because that was fashionable in my day. That's what I'm talking about. Now, when I'm talking about women, black women, I'm just saying in my day, the Jerry curl was a big thing.
Yes.
Okay. Now, all the hot, and what I'm talking about, my sister, there is, you see black women, yeah, they're very beautiful. But if in their own minds, they find that they need to have that European standard of beauty, that is the issue here. They're beautiful women, but we've all been tricked with this European standard of beauty, the men and the women. And this is what we must fight. It's simple as that, my sister. Be ourselves. Choose hairstyles and hair ways which are easy for us to manage. I had a girl, my girlfriend, she had dreadlocks. Fine, I loved it. I know girls have been out with bald heads. I know girls, so many fashions black women can have. And it's identifiable to African people. And it's beautiful without putting these straight wigs, looking like Europeans. White women, when they look at black women, they must laugh at us, thinking, look at that woman trying to look like us.
Nah, I don't see that. I see a lot of time. I'll be honest, in my what I've seen is I see a lot of white women getting jealous because black women can pull off wigs and their own natural hairstyle. And
With disrespect, brother, you think about this. If you saw the majority of a black man, yeah?
Bro, comments are very racist. Man said colonized standards.
The majority of black men wearing wigs of European texture, you think to yourself, what is really going on here? You think this is madness. Now, when the black women do it...
Can I tell you a couple of things, Big Grey? Hi, yeah, I'm from the UK as well. How are you doing today? Hi. Yeah, so it's obviously been historically easier, quote unquote, for black men because you can shave your head, right? As a black man, you've been able to shave your head and technically get rid of your texture in the eyes of other people, right? You said that you straightened your hair when you were younger. That's something I've not heard. So I'm sure that probably did have quite an effect on you, right? But if a black woman, if they were younger and didn't want to be bullied and didn't want to be picked on and shaved her hair, she wouldn't have the same reaction to you, right? She would be looked at and be like, well, why she got a shaved head? Why is she looking more masculine? You know, so we haven't had the same experience as you as a black woman and a black man. We've had two different completely experiences. And now though, I will say, of course, I've worn wigs. I've got a wig wearing in my picture. And I did go through that period of time where I did feel very insecure about my hair because I was bullied so much when I was younger. But now it's actually a choice. And what I've had to do personally is actually move out of a European country to be able to see more natural hairstyles. So it makes me feel like I'm empowered now to wear my own hair. So, but I want you to know that saying stuff like this about women, it doesn't help us. I get what you're trying to do, you guys. You're trying to be like, wear your own hair. You know, this is your crown, this is your crown. But you have to understand the trauma that has come with that historically and presently. You know, it's really sad that men, you're not supporting us in the way that we need to feel more confident about wearing our hair.
There's a difference though. There's a difference between a woman like you that's acknowledging, hey, I was bullied before, there's trauma here. And then there's the other woman, like the woman or the little girl that came up before, and she's like, oh, we just do it because we want to. We don't want to be white, blah, 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 and lying about it.
She never said anything about race or what. She never said anything about whiteness. Like, as I said, I wear a wig and it's by choice if I want to wear a different style.
But we were saying that the reason why you guys put on straight hair wigs and things like that is because you're trying to conform to European beauty standards. And she was saying, no, we're not, but you are. If you straighten your hair, if you wear wigs, if you do anything like that, you're trying to conform to European beauty standards.
I believe what you're saying is right in the past, but now it's actually a conscious choice that we do make. You would have said this probably early 2000s, yeah, you know, straight hair, but it's part of Black culture now. You see, we've got different colors, different textures in the wig. And you have to remember that Queen Cleopatra was wearing a wig. You know, nobody seems to talk about actually the historical relevance of wigs. It is not a new thing of Black women wearing wigs. It's not something that just turned up in the last 10 years. It has always been part of our culture. Grandmas were wearing white wigs, you know. Everybody has been wearing wigs from such a long time. You know, your grandmother was wearing that like pink curly perm wig or whatnot. You know, this is just part of what we do. It's part of what we do.
No,
And
it's not,
I just really,
It's not.
but it is. But I think you just don't accept it. I think what men want is more control over women's appearances. I really feel like you feel like you want to control what a woman does because perhaps maybe you feel like women are trying to control what you do.
Hold on. Wait. You just said that it's just what we do. It was never just what Black people did. Before
it is. I just told you about Cleopatra.
Ma'am, let me finish. Before Black people were colonized, and before white people and society were telling you that your hair was ugly, you had nappy hair, we can make this relaxer to make your difficult hair more manageable and more easy. These terms came from other races. Black people, we didn't think about our hair in this way before we were colonized. So after this, then we start acting like this. Before colonization, we loved our hair. We could walk outside, get up, walk out, and not even do our hair and feel comfortable. But now today, we have to have it in some type of straight hairstyle, a wig.
Well, you know that straightening hair and wearing a wig is two different things, right?
Explain.
I'll explain it to you. In Africa, wigs were actually worn as symbols of status, beauty, and spirituality. Do you know that?
In Egyptian culture, yes.
Yeah, exactly. So that is also part of our culture too. It's part of our culture. It's part of we wear it for status, beauty, and spirituality.
Let's go to that point though, because they were not wearing 6'13" straight hair bust downs back then. They wore wigs made of like wool and like sheep's fur and things like that. These are still hair fibers and things like that look like Black people's hair.
They were also wearing human hair wigs, of course, back then too, because it was a part of
they were not wearing white women's hair though, or Indian women's or Asian women's hair.
No, any kind of texture, obviously, any kind of texture. But like as I said, what you're saying is that wearing a straight wig now means that a woman wants to be white, and that is not the case. It is not the case. As I said, probably they felt that way about 10, 15 years ago when the insecurity was quite deep within Black women. It was, and as I've said on here, that's how I felt too. But now it's not the case because there are so many different styles and so many different ways to express a Black woman's personality. It is. We are not just our wig. We are not just our wig.
Really quick, Kay, what do you have to say to that? What do you think about that?
Bro, I'll be honest, it's like anything I say, bro, this little shit Gabriel in the comments gonna get onto my fucking dick, bro, and call me a simp. Man saying I'm simping for women and shit, simping for Black girls, bro, because I think it's okay.
Don't mind yourself. You
go. Bro, Fox,
go.
I've been saying that I personally think that Black women can do whatever they want with their hair, whether they want to slap on a wig or wear natural. This little guy in the comments, bro, talking about man's a simp, this little light skin. Shut up, bro. Don't listen to this shit, bro. But to be honest, I think you see, bro, this fucking.
Don't worry, ignore them. Let
me block. Nah, hold on. Let me block this guy. What's up, bro?
But even if you block him, I'm pretty sure you'll still be able to see his comment because.
No, I can't see it now. I'm free.
Oh dang, that's crazy. Okay, I didn't know you could do that, but yeah, go ahead, continue.
No, the thing is, it's like I was sitting asleep for like half of it, but I heard another 50%. I feel like, yeah, what Fox was saying about like 15, 20 years ago, trying to match or feel like they were white women or match European beauty standards. But nowadays, if you think about it, like not everything, but every race is gonna share multiple things like white people, Black people, Asian people, you know, whatever race, everyone shared stuff. So it's kind of like, I don't really know how to say it. I don't know how to explain it. It's like they're not wearing it to try and be white. They're just wearing it because it's like it's something it's been shared, but at the same time, white like straight hair isn't a white people thing. Like anyone can have straight hair. Like there's black people, there's mixed people that have been born with perfectly straight hair. It's not like, you know how braids and that shit is cultural. Like that's an actual cultural thing. White, like straight hair is just, it's not culture. Like you can be born with straight hair. It's not something that has been turned into a culture.
Sir, I understand that it's not culture, but the thing about it is, the thing that's sad is that 80 to 90% of black women grow kinky, coily hair, but 70 to 80% of black women also wear straight hair wigs and straighten their hair. So
it's definitely not 70 to 8. Come on, bro. Come on. It's not.
No, sir, you can Google it. You can
80% of women wear. I don't know what country, mate, bro. In the UK, I don't think so.
Okay, so I'm talking about here, like in America.
But it can't be every single state.
Sir, 70% of black women wear fake hair, and that's a fact. You can search it yourself.
Right, I'll check.
Yeah, and when we walk around, when we walk outside, this is what we see all the time outside. So it's sad that this many black women, they're wearing all this fake hair and wigs and weaves, but they don't naturally grow their hair that way. And then when we have debates and talks like this, they try to say, oh well, there's this 0.1% of black women over here that naturally have straight hair. So I'm trying to be like them.
What percentage did you just say there?
They're on here coping to defend themselves against wearing European style hair. And it's so insane to me. Why are you continue, sorry.
Go ahead, repeat that.
It's very, very like there's no way to defend this. If you're not East African who have a looser wearing hair texture, or they continue to bring up the tribe in Africa who have straight hair because they have loose enough hair texture to have that straight hair, that is a different conversation for another day. If you as a black woman, especially if you know majority of your family members have curly and kinky hair, majority of 4B and 4B, you should not be achieving to go for straighter hair texture.
It doesn't matter. It's just a style. At the end of the day, it's just hair.
It doesn't matter if it's a style. It's still not genetically something you can achieve. What if your child asks you, why don't you have straight hair? Or why do so many black little girls already hate their hair texture as it is or ask for looser hair texture? You want to know why? Because we have a majority, an epidemic of black women who wear straight hair.
So because you can't genetically...
Can you hear the difference? Can you hear the difference between the generations, right? Because obviously Big Gray was saying he was in his 50s, I'm 40s. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name.
Just call me Exia.
Exia. And how old would you say you are?
I'm 19.
Yeah, so you're 19, right? So this is completely different experiences that we had. Like us growing up, it was more quote unquote normal for us.
No, texturism was very prevalent in those times. It was very prevalent. Majority of women were defending themselves wearing straight hair.
Finish my sentence? If you finish my sentence, then you can hear what I'm trying to say to you. Is that when we were younger, it was harder for us to have our natural hair. I'm like the first generation that has actually gone through the transition of not accepting our hair to accepting it more. And you live now in the generation where it's acceptable again to wear your natural hair. And really,
this is such hope because my mother was also in that time, so was my grandmother, and they had naturally curly hair.
Can I finish my point? Love, let me finish my point so you can hear me fully. You're very blessed to be able to go through this period now where you're able to wear your natural hair without as much criticism as myself and Big Gray got. Like really, you are very lucky. And I think that obviously maybe there's a difference between the cultures as well, like you guys being in the US, us being in the UK. Maybe there is a slight difference in our relationship with natural hair and wigs as well. But honestly, you need to really understand just how different it is for your generation. The fact that you have been made to feel so empowered by wearing your natural hair is not something that we experienced over here. It's not.
You using your trauma to continuously to defend the fact that you can wear straight hair is completely speaking out of your ass.
Listening, you're not listening.
I'm listening. You just explained to me that you have traumatic issues with wearing your curly hair because of what you used to do with back in the day. That is complete coat, because my mother is somebody with 4C hair and has continuously wore her hair. She's a married woman today. There are many Black women who wore their natural hair back then. So that's complete coat. Just because you felt insecure because of the white media and what it's taught you to do with your hair, that means that is your issue. That is not anybody else's. That's your issue for believing in white media for wearing straight hair.
You're very not listening to me.
I'm listening to you. I
just
listened to you. I just spoke of your traumatic issues with wearing straight hair.
No, because when I grew up, again, this is a generation.
Yeah, you're bringing up trauma. You're saying that where you grew up is an excuse to wear straight hair, and it's not. I'm telling you, it's not.
So my parents and my mother, father, aunties, uncles all had natural hair. Okay, that's one generation of people above us, which is about Big Gray's age and a little bit more than that, right? They all wore natural hair. In the 70s, everybody was wearing natural hair. In the 80s, everybody was wearing natural hair. In the 90s, everyone was wearing natural hair. Like it was natural for most of our lives, right? But there was a movement, there was a time where everything shifted, and we went with that shift. And that was when there was a huge energy that came around to say, Black people are not as accepted as we perhaps thought we were, you know, and so that's when the bullying came in. That's when we got shifted to move into feeling more accepted, so we weren't feeling so alienated from society, right? And then we shifted back again. Like that's genuinely what happens with people and cultures. Sometimes we end up adapting to our environment. Like that's naturally what happens. Some people use different language, right, in the way that they speak, etc. Some people wear different clothes based on where they are. It's a shift, and wigs was part of that conversation too.
Once again, as I said, you're bringing up your trauma with the 2000s and wearing straight hair.
Okay, you don't listen very well, and I hope that you do. You don't listen very well.
I'm listening. You just said that back then there was a shift, and you could not, and you had to wear straight hair to feel accepted. I'm telling you, that's not an excuse. That's not an excuse to wear straight hair. I'm telling you now. If you continue to keep wearing something that makes your hair look inferior to you at all,
if you look in the comments, you will see that people are trying to help you understand what I'm trying to say.
No, people are also saying you're wrong, because it's the trauma response. You're literally proving the point of wearing straight hair is a trauma response.
Okay,
this is what you want to believe.
Fox, what is your standpoint? Are you arguing for wigs and weaves, or are you arguing against it?
Sorry, I can't hear. The dog was barking in the background. I couldn't hear. Could you say that again, please?
Are you arguing for wigs and weaves, or are you arguing against wigs and weaves?
I'm arguing for individuality and choice.
Okay, so what do you explain further on that?
There's nothing more to explain, is it? It's a choice.
So it's just Black women can choose what they want to wear.
Everybody can do whatever they want to do.
Yeah, exactly. What have you got on your head right now? This is the choice, right?
So
you're choosing to wear pink hair. That's not natural.
Can I respond?
Yeah.
So by you saying everybody can do whatever they want, don't you know that hurts Black, like little girls and things like that in the future?
No, because it's down to the relationship that they have with their parents, as it was brought up there, right? If a parent is going to empower their child to wear natural hair and natural styles, honestly, amazing. But as I said, I was empowered as a kid to wear natural style. My mum always plaited my hair, always. But as I said, in my time, there was a shift. So it is definitely up to the
question. So
yeah.
What style did your mother do? Did she wear wigs? Did she straighten her hair?
No, they had the hot comb, you know, back there in the Caribbeans. When they came to the UK, they used the hot comb a lot, but also it was very Afro still. As I said, in the 70s, 80s, they were all wearing natural Afros in the UK. And then the pressing comb came, I think it was the 80s. And I wore natural hairstyles, like naturally textured without straightening. But then when the pressing comb came in, I think I remember, was it in the 90s? So then we started to straighten our hair with the pressing comb. But at the same time, you know, using a hot comb didn't change the texture of your hair completely. You can still tell that's bloody Afro hair.
Mother straightened her hair as well?
Like probably, as I said, in the 90s when the comb came through. But it wasn't really in my time.
In the 90s?
In the 90s, I was, teenager?
Okay, so do you not understand your mother straightening her hair has an effect on you straightening your hair and thinking it's okay? Because if your mother never did that, If she
But she didn't do that.
Hold on, wait, let me finish. If your mother never straightened her hair and she always told you don't straighten your hair, do you think you would actually do that today?
I could, yeah, because I have an individual mind. My mother straightening her hair a couple of times did not have such a massive effect on me because I still had braids after. I still wore my natural hair out after the straightening. I was still doing all those things.
Wait,
As I said,
bro.
It was a cultural shift that happened. It wasn't an individual shift.
Bro, can you bring up Michaela, please? Because she want to make a point.
Me and Michaela want to debate because she thinks that me wearing straight hair has anything to do with one of this. When I'm somebody who's mixed and has siblings who have straight hair,
that makes sense.
Which I
now. You're mixed.
One second.
That makes sense.
How does it make sense? I want you to make sense right now.
If he's still here, Big Gray.
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm still listening.
Yeah, is there anything you got to say right now? I just want to give everybody their turn.
Okay, I just see there's two camps here. There's a camp of when we was growing up, we were trying to fit in, okay? And a camp of nowadays, there's awareness, okay? Now, Black people, as a general, we need to realize we are taking these people's ways, their habits and their values as ours. And as long as we do this, we will hate ourselves. We will hate ourselves, whether we want to recognize it or not. Okay, so we can come on here and we can say, oh, we got a freedom of choice. Yeah, you could do what you like, but what is behind this choice is a self-hate.
I think you're projecting there with this self-hate stuff. As I said, in your generation, it was different. It was different in your generation.
I've got kids. I've got kids. Listen, I've got kids. My kids are like 22, 26, and 13. Now I'm hearing the same retro about checking white girls, going out with white girls, coming from them as such. Because this hatred of standard beauty I'm talking about, they know they're Black. They're clear about that. But this self-hate, this sort of the white beauty standard is worldwide. It's not stopping. Only a few Black people are strong enough to fight it. Only a few of us are fighting.
Are you teaching your kids? Because you're saying it begins at home. Are you teaching your kids to empower themselves and wear their natural hair? Like, what are you doing to give them?
I've got boys. I got all manner of boys. So
you've got all boys. So it's a different conversation entirely. Again,
I got boys, but I still tell my boys what it is to be Black. We are Black. This is what we are. We're different.
Yeah, so it's different. If you had daughters, it would be different.
No. I was telling my children, look, people say we want to be equal. No, I don't want to be equal because they are nobody to be equal to. That's my mood. People, I don't want equality. They're no one to be equal to. That's my mindset. And that's what I instill in my children. They're nobody to be equal to.
Yeah, that's now, good. But it's still got
picture,
nothing to do with
if that's you in your picture, I would like to see you naturally.
I've got plenty of other posts and comments on my, as I say, it's a choice for me. I've got natural hairstyles on my TikTok, on other social media. I pick and choose. When I put on a white wig, it's a character I'm playing.
Okay.
Why are you trying to play a character though?
I'm saying, like,
that's what I do, because that's what I do. I'm a dominatrix, and it's part of my character. Yes, I dominate men for women.
Character, but are you a character or are you a human being?
Of course, I'm a human being, but we can play characters. We can do whatever we want. I play a dominatrix sometimes.
So is this like for work or is just?
Yeah, it's work. It's part of my personality. I don't pick and choose and separate who I am as a person. I just do many things. I'm a multifaceted character.
So this is for your job, like you get paid to do this.
No, not necessarily. As I say, it's a character, and when I mean not white hair, by the way, the color white, not European. When I put on a white wig, I mean the color white. because you can see in my profile picture, it is ombre to white. That's what I'm saying. Let me be clear on that point.
Okay, so when you put on these different wigs, do you feel like you become somebody else?
Depends on the color.
So
depends on the type, the texture.
So do you know that's a mental disorder?
Wearing a wig is a mental disorder. Have you looked in the mirror, my friend?
Yes.
So I'm really sorry about your mental disorder, my dear. I'm so sorry about that. I hope you get help.
You guys always do this. Let me explain.
Do what?
Hold on. Let me explain. So when I put this on, number one, this is for a couple hours. And in my real life, every day, I'm not trying to be a different character. I'm myself. I wear my natural hair 24/7.
Well, then take that wig off right now.
Hold on. Wait.
Take off your wig. Take it off. Let's see your natural.
He's wearing the wig to show how stupid majority of Black women look wearing wigs.
No,
it's really not the same. It's really not the same.
Smart enough to know this. That was the whole point of the wig. Like, come on now.
It's not the same.
Like, I really thought we knew that. I really thought we all caught that.
No, Zaya, I can't lie. You're actually blind if you think that's.
That was so clear.
Right.
That was so clear.
It's so clear. He literally. That's why he's literally not taking it off, because he's trying to show how stupid Black women look.
Yeah, but you're blind. I think that looks the same.
He's wearing on his hair. It's obviously not a style of wig. It's obviously not a textured, laid, beautiful wig. It's a silly wig. It's a clown comical wig.
Exactly. That's what y'all look like. 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 Wearing a hair texture that doesn't resemble your own or your daughter's. That's what y'all look like.
If it's
your profile. It's pure European wigs. I look at your profile.
My profile isn't a European wig.
Pure straight hair.
Mine isn't a European wig. This is my hair.
As I said, my wigs are straighter, but I've also got my natural hair out as well.
I looked at your profile. I saw pure straight hair for your profile.
Oh no, he's right. He's right. I literally looked on there as well. There's nothing.
So that tells me about you. Like,
no, straight
profile picture, straight hair. No.
Straightened hair is different.
Why are you straightening your hair?
Because I can do what I want.
That's not why.
Yes.
Hold on. Wait. I eat food because I'm hungry, not because I can. You understand? That's not the reason why you do it. So why can you straighten your hair?
Currently, I have cornrows in my hair. Currently, I have that in a natural style.
Cornrows, which you cover up with a wig. Cornrows, which you cover up with a wig. I bet you. You cover up with a wig. We know how it goes.
No, because I also have got content on there as well with my hair is out too, and my hair in cornrows, and on my Twitter, and on my private stuff. It's all over the place.
How come when he went through your profile, how come that wasn't present, like off E? How come he mainly saw straight hair?
My TikTok is kind of new. It's kind of new. I haven't been doing that much. It's only recently that I've been posting content on there.
You're following 2K people. You know you're full of poop coming on here and saying that. Like, come on now. Like, come on.
My Twitter really thing is, I don't compare myself to anyone, but I have a Twitter of 10 years, which has 30,000 followers. Like, this is kind of new. This one that I'm doing now. And I'm
true. Is that your name?
Now.
Yeah. Can I come in briefly?
Right, cool. Can you?
Let me say one sentence.
All right, cool.
Explain this. One sentence. Explain the whole issue. Back in the day, there were black people that lived in the house and some in the field. Okay.
You were in the field.
The ones that live in the house, to me, they're wearing the wigs and straightening their hair, trying to look white. The ones that live in the field, we probably keep our shit natural and we fighting this shit. And that's as simple as it is. Be you men or be you women. You're a house nigger or you're a field nigger. And it's as simple as that.
I'm dropping. I don't like that. I
don't care. I don't care. No sellout. I don't care.
But Trey, Trey, I just wanted to ask you, like, I'm not getting on to you, by the way, bro. I'm just genuinely asking. If you want a girl that has like natural hairstyles, why don't you just go for that and ignore the ones that wear the wig?
I do go for that.
But then, don't you just
like literally?
Why can't they speak on it though? Because majority of Black women do look
But
have
it's
insecurity
not.
issues
I feel
with
like
their
if you're
natural
not
hair.
a black woman, do you feel qualified?
I
enough to
am.
sit
I
up
literally
here?
have a black
Girl,
friend
you're a
that
mixed
has
woman
4C
talking
hair
about
is
mixed
raised by
hair.
black
We're
women.
talking
Don't
about
sit here
4C
and
black hair
automatically
love.
disrespect my experience
Bro,
because
this
I told you.
You're not qualified. You're not qualified.
One
You're not
second,
qualified.
one second.
Next caller.
Hold on.
Like you're literally you
Baby,
want
your
to girl,
profile
so you
picture
don't
not
wanna have
even
a-
your profile picture not
you
even
don't have a
natural,
suspect
babe.
for
You got
Like,
hella
talk to me
makeup,
as a
hella
woman.
filters.
Talk to me
That's
as
not
a
your
woman.
natural at all.
Let me finish.
Let's
I'm
clock
gonna let you
real.
go.
Let's
I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you go.
Because baby, them fat ass look, baby, them not yours.
Hold on, let me meet both of y'all real quick. So I'm gonna give y'all time to debate each other real quick, but let me let Kay finish real quick. What were you saying?
Yeah, no. I was just gonna say, like, I understand that obviously, like, we're talking about people's right to do whatever they want, so it's your right to speak on it. But in terms of it's like you're trying to see someone do what they want and change what they want to do, but it's like if you just ignore it and you just go for the girl that you see this little fucking dickhead in the comments getting onto bro. If you just do what you want to do in it, like you go for the type of girl that you want, and then you can see the girl wearing a wig and you can be like, oh, I don't like that. But at the end of the day, if you ignore it and don't waste negative energy on it, it's like it's easier for you and it's easier for them. That's like a part of the problem.
So,
what?
How we got into this situation of black women wearing like wigs and straight hair, it came from a negative place. So first, people told them their hair was unmanageable, ugly, negative terms like this. Then they started to wear fake hair and straighten their hair and change who they naturally were. So people shamed them originally. So the only way to get black women out of the wigs and the weaves is if we shame the ones who wear the wigs and the weaves and we praise black women who wear their natural hair.
But don't you think there was a big switch up? Because before there was guys saying, oh, like, I want my girl to be wearing like wigs and stuff, and I don't want to see you with your natural hair. And then they're switching back and saying, oh, now I want to see you with your natural hair. Like every time they do something, then they come along like, for example, guys will come along and be like, oh, now I want to see you do this, even though I told you to do that before.
I mean, but most times when we look at it, it's not the men that are the ones who are kind of in the woman's ear about her hair, about her wearing like a wig one day and the afro another day. It's really other women that are making fun of women for wearing their natural hair and things like this, and then they become insecure, if that makes sense.
I don't know, bro. I just like I'm not trying to argue, or it is a debate, I'm trying to see the points from you and Big Gray, but at the same time, bro, this fucking dickhead in the comments just keeps talking shit to me and doesn't shut up, bro.
I go. I'm sorry. I don't want to cut you off, but like you keep.
So, yeah. I'm gonna let you go. So what I'll do is I'll give you 30 seconds to say your, and then I'm gonna let Michaela.
Yeah. Okay. So I wanted to speak on the fact that people continuously bring up the fact that I have straight hair in my profile picture. I am somebody from a biracial family, somebody with a white father and a black mother who's always taught me about my hair. I have siblings with straight hair. This is something that's genetically achievable with my mix and with my family. And also, I am also half Dominican. So straight hair is something that's not uncommon in my family. There are a majority of other Dominicans in my family who do have straight hair. Me having straight hair doesn't have anything to do with something that you do, because it's genetically possible for me to have straight hair. I have that genetic possibility to have straight hair. You do not, especially if somebody who's two black parents, you do not have that genetic ability or to have genetic wise straight hair at all. You have 4C hair and curl hair textures. And I do have curly hair textures, but if you also look at my profile picture and look at my hair grade, I also have straight hair mixed within that curly hair texture. So continue to pick and choose.
All right, go ahead.
And continuing to pick and choose about my hair texture is so crazy to me. Anyways, back to what I was saying. I said the majority of black women shouldn't continue to keep wearing and using wigs as an excuse because they can't do their hair. It is not that hard, especially as somebody whose mother has 4C hair. Once again, Somalis do have straight hair, but Somalis also have a majority of Arab DNA. We cannot continue to keep using Somalis as a reason to have straight hair. So somebody in the comments said that.
All right, real quick. That was about a minute and 10 seconds. So
yeah,
let Michaela respond.
All right,
Michaela.
Honestly, nothing that she said just really makes sense, because I feel like if you have straight hair, Why are you even on the, like, girl, your hair's already straight, okay? Good for fucking you. We don't care. We don't give a damn. And then it just stop looking like that, because the whole topic, she just threw me off. This shit don't make sense. Like, bro.
Okay. All right. You said your name was Zia? Zia? Okay, go ahead and respond to that.
Regardless, it has everything to do with it, because I have a black. I'm telling you right now that you have beauty within yourself, within your own hair texture. Let me finish. Let me finish. Don't cut me off. Don't cut me off. I want to be respectful as much as with you.
Okay.
Let me be respectful. Let's try to be respectful to one another as it is. Okay. So as I'm continuing, I'm saying that there is already so much insecurity with Black women in their hair, and so many other, like, we can even go on to featureism and colorism, which is a very big thing and prevalent in the Black community. Texturism is a big one, and you're automatically feeding that texturism, which causes self-hate into your own community by wearing straight wigs, which is something that shouldn't be prevalent between Black women and Black children at all.
No. Honestly. No. Oh, my bad. I was reading that comment.
But Michaela, hold on. So you were in the comment section talking all the smack. And then you come
yes,
up
I was.
You don't have anything to say.
No, because literally what she just said just threw me off, because it don't make fucking sense. Nothing she said just makes sense. You're trying to put yourself, you're trying to put yourself in a Black woman's shoes, and you're not even fully Black yourself. You don't know what fully Black women have to go through. Okay,
yes, I do.
You got like you don't even have 4C hair. Your hair's like what? 3 something? Like, you don't have 4C hair. So what makes you think that you can sit here and tell a Black woman that it's not hard to do their hair? It don't make sense. Like,
wait, Zia, what's your hair texture?
My hair texture is a mixture of straight and curly hair. I put my hair grade on my profile
something
picture. You can go and look at it.
Like, my point.
I can't press on it because if I do, it will bring echoes.
No, you can't. There's a way to look at it. And she left, but she did. I wanted to continue debating with her. She was actually.
What is it? Is it in a type 3 category?
Yes, I'd say so.
Okay.
But regardless, as what I was saying,
but that means
a lot of
straight in there.
I'm not trying to put myself in any Black woman's shoes, because I know the struggles of what Black women go through, especially as somebody. My mother specifically told her story to me about 4C hair and what a lot of women do. My mother, if it's really that serious that you feel like you can't do your hair every week, get sister locks or get locks or other natural hairstyles that can give you the hair texture that you want. But continuing to blame it that you cannot find a way to do your hair is complete bull. You have ways to do your hair at the beginning of the week and other ways to do your hair. And there's so many other things in the world right now that can help you with your hair to maintain it.
All right.
People just, let me turn the talk. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Dree, what is your standpoint?
I just think that women, I want to ask you guys a question before I start. Like, do you think like women shouldn't wear wigs at all? Like, at all?
I would prefer that, yes.
Okay. Me, I don't care. You can do whatever.
Okay, so I know you were saying a lot about how parents like wearing the straight hair with their children, how it affects them, and basically like makes them not feel like insecure in themselves. But I really think it has more to do about your environment, and I feel like the environment in schools has more prevalent effects than your parents, especially because from my experience, I grew up in a predominantly white Black area, and my mom, she grew up in a time where it was like relaxers, everything. So my hair was first relaxed, but when I was in school, everybody's hair was curly, and so that made me want to switch my hair back to curls, and that's what happened. So this is speaking from experience. I feel like a lot of Black children, based on like the school they go to, if like it's predominantly white or if it's predominantly Black, then that's what they feel like their hair should be. And that's where the insecurity comes in, because of the people around you, not necessarily their parents. That's the same thing with white girls when they go to a predominantly Black school. Of course, they want to have the braids, they start doing the edges a certain way, doing their hair certain ways in ponytails. It's to convert to the way they are, what they're around, basically. So I don't necessarily think it's the parents, because you can have, like even with my little cousins, I've stressed like how precious their hair is and how good their hair is. And they go to school and they see all these white girls, they're like, oh, I want my hair to be straight. So it's not always about like the parents. You can literally stress it so much how important it is to love your hair but it's like what the child goes through at school and what they see is really what affects them, I feel like. And I've had some other notes that I had wrote down.
Right. So I mean, I do agree with that. I think it can be both because I know a lot of women that have told me, I never put on wigs or weaves because my mother never did it, so they never felt the need for that. Like, and a lot of girls' lives, like their mother is, their first role model that they look up to. But I do understand in school, like bullying and stuff like that goes on as well, and it makes women want to conform to what the bully wants them to do. So it could be like other little black girls picking on you because you have your hair in an afro or things like that. So I think it can be a little bit of both. I don't disagree.
Okay, and what else I wanted to say was when I did ended up shifting to my curly hair, it was a struggle because like obviously not every black woman has the same experience. I know I see in a lot of comments a woman was saying that it's not hard for her hair, but we have to also take into account not only the texture but the porosity that can have a difference in how easy it is to do your hair. And it's been days where, oh, this is so easy to do. And it's other days where I'm sitting here crying and I'm late for school because I couldn't get my hair to look the right way. And I feel like it's stereotypes also in the black community where your hair have to be slicked down to look right. Like it's like a lot that you have to add to your hair that takes 5 hours plus on wash day to do your hair for it to look quote unquote presentable. Like you can't just have it combed out in a brushed out state because that doesn't look right.
So don't you think that's why black women should wear their natural hair and never wear weaves or never straighten their hair because of that reason that you just said?
Not necessarily because I love my natural hair, but I do need a break from it. And
but this mentality that you need a break from it is a form of not necessarily self-hate, but it's not all the way loving yourself because like why do you need a break from who you are?
I love it. It's not, I need a break because of the time it takes. Not every morning I have the time to do my hair. And right now I'm in college. I don't have time every morning to sit here and deal with my hair every morning. It's just not the case. I'm going to be late for class every time.
This is why we have things like protective styling because when you have your hair in braids, twists, dreads, things like this, then you don't have to do your hair every day. You can.
Yes, that's what okay. So yes, the protective styles do help. I do get braids, everything. I only get wigs once in a while. And I feel like um you guys think that most black women just get wig after wig after wig, which isn't the case. Most of the time, like if that's a girl who does that, that's their personal issue. They probably do have some type of like problem with themselves. But it's not every black woman who wears a wig.
So my thing is though, like, cause you guys speak about convenience and time, and it takes too long to do my hair. Like when you go to get your hair done, why can't you go to the salon and have them do your hair with only natural hair? Why does there always have to be some type of wig or fake hair or fake hair woven into your natural hair? Like why not?
Oh, so you don't like the when they add weave to the braids either?
Okay, yeah, I don't. But is it Narissa? You said what?
She just told you why. It's because of the beauty standard. It has to look a certain way.
So okay, so basically it's because of insecurity then.
Oh, did you not hear what I said? I said the beauty standard.
No,
I didn't say
you.
insecurities.
Listen.
No, you listen. You're a man. You have different standards for men.
All right, goodbye.
Ooh,
Listen,
ooh,
I'm gonna
ooh.
come on my platform and tell me you listen. It's because of insecurity. Think about it. If you're trying to get your hair styled in a certain way because of what other people think about you, that's insecurity. You're insecure because if I go outside and I go with just my natural hair and no fake hair, then somebody's going to say something about me, meaning that you're afraid of what people might say. It's insecurity.
I understand what you're saying, like where you're coming from, but you also have to acknowledge like the stereotypes within the black community. Like you a black man, you might like the natural, but I believe like most black men, they want your hair done in a certain style with the weave added. So it's like, it's a, yeah, you like the natural, but I feel like most Black men like the weave. And that's what they like. They go after that. So that's the stereotypes put in through Black people, not necessarily like white people.
Okay,
Not
so
really
really,
trying to be like white people, but
Big Gray, what do you prefer, the natural or the fake?
I prefer natural, simple, because if you have a wig or weave, okay, in the morning when I wake up with you and I see your real hairstyle, your real self, it's not good. So just give me who you are. I have to accept you for who you are. I go out with a Black woman because I want a Black woman. If I want to go out with a white woman, I'll date a white woman.
Facts. Brandy, what is your standpoint?
On what exactly? What's the question again?
I'm just asking, what is your standpoint? Like, are you for or against like fake hair and wigs and stuff?
I have a mixed opinion. I'm mostly for natural hair.
Okay.
But I can see why people would wear fake hair.
Okay. Why do you think people wear fake hair?
I think there's so many reasons why. I think it can be out of convenience.
Mm-hmm.
I think it can be out of fear, out of insecurity, or out of a simulation. Because when I first went natural, I did wear a lot of braids and wigs to grow out my hair because I didn't want to go through the short natural hair phase. And I think a lot of Black women do that. You know, we'll hide our hair until it gets to a certain length, or you know, we don't want to actually take the time to learn our hair and go through that awkward phase. So I think there's just so much that goes into it.
Okay. And let me see really quick. Kay, do you have any like last words? I'm gonna bring somebody else up if you don't have anything else to say.
Nah, bro. To be honest, like I made my points in it, so yeah. But I appreciate it. It was a good debate though.
Definitely. You have a good night.
Take care, bro.
So, Brandy, were you basically saying like convenience is why they do it?
No, I said that's just one of the reasons. I think it's not just Black or white. I think there's a lot of reasons why Black women wear wigs and weaves. Like a lot of it is out of insecurity. Some of it is convenience. A lot of it could be they just don't know how to care for their hair, and they don't want to go through the awkward phase of having short hair and learning how to care for it to get it to actually grow to a length that they're confident enough to wear outside. Because I went through that phase when I was natural.
But do you think that's okay for them to do like to wear like the fake hair?
I think people can do whatever they want. I personally think everyone should love themselves as they are, but I don't know if I'm gonna say it's okay or not. That's not really my place.
So do you have a daughter?
No, I do not.
So if you did have a daughter, would you also tell her she can just do whatever she wants?
I would be in the middle about it. I would tell her I would prefer her to actually take the time to learn and care for her hair. But if she wanted to wear braids and weaves, I don't really see why I would tell her, not to do it.
Yeah, I understand, but I'm just trying to see like why not give that same advice to other women, because with other women it's like they can do whatever they want to do, but then when it comes to somebody that you care about, you're gonna be like, okay, well, I prefer you to wear the natural hair, but if you want to wear braids, that's all right. But I'm pretty sure you wouldn't want your daughter wearing like wigs and lace fronts and things like that.
I wouldn't, because I think they kind of take away from Black women's beauty. Like, we're the only one with this hair, and it's in my opinion, I think it's the most beautiful hair. But I understand why Black women do it because I went through it myself. Like, the standard for men and the standard for men and women aren't the same. Women are judged by our appearance, and especially if you're a young woman trying to date and trying to get married, a lot of people will look past you if you have natural hair. I've dealt with it, and in your day-to-day life, people are trying to get married. What for better reason? For survival reasons. People don't want to get overlooked. There's just so many aspects to it, it's kind of hard for me to have a black and white view about it.
And Crochet, what is your standpoint?
Yeah, so I would say that because I just got in here, so I don't know if you guys already went over this, but I would say that yeah, black women who don't wear their natural hair, and because it's not even that fake hair is the problem, it's that it's fake hair that's not your hair texture. So we see a lot of black women wearing straight hair, straight wigs, when you know that's not your hair texture. And it's because a lot of black women hate their natural hair. Now, I have no problem, like, if you're a black woman, like, I have locks, and if, let's say if I bought, like, an afro wig, I don't see a problem with that because that would still be my hair. It's just my hair is in locks right now. But I understand black women saying, like, oh, I want to switch it up. Like, you can switch it up. Like, you can do natural hairstyles all the time. Like, you don't have to revert to the straight wigs. And a lot of black women don't want to admit it. Like, it comes from trauma and white supremacy indoctrination, but they don't want to admit that they hate their natural hair. Like, it's not normal that you're wearing a wig 24/7. No one's ever seen your natural hair. Like, that's kind of scary. Like no one's ever seen your natural hair, but then black women will say, well, I just want to switch it up. Okay, why can't you switch it up and do natural hairstyles or get a 4C wig? Because they hate 4C hair. So yeah.
That's facts.
Can I respond to that about wearing styles 24/7?
Go ahead.
So, like I said about the stereotypes in the black community, like it is definitely in the younger age groups to keep your hair done. Because even if you wear your hair out, when you have your natural hair out, it's seen as your hair isn't done. So it's like basically this, what is the word for it? I guess this stress to like keep your hair in a style, basically. Or you're not
Peer
seen as
pressure?
beautiful at, like, yes, like you have to keep it in a style. Whether it's like any style, not just wigs, just a style in general. Like it's like you have to have your hair done.
I agree. Would you say now that we are older, there's really nothing that's stopping black women from wearing their natural hair?
Yes. Once I got now I'm out of high school. I'll wear my natural hair, but it's still like when I'm going out places and I didn't have time to do my hair in the morning, I'd rather just keep a style in.
I think a lot of it too is like to appeal to the baddie aesthetic, because the baddie aesthetic is all about like slick hair, straight hair. Because I've given advice to women about like when they ask me about my hair, like how to grow my hair, and I'll tell them mini twists or braids, and they're like, I'm not gonna walk around looking like that, or I don't want to look like a child. But you have to give up that baddie aesthetic if you really want to grow out your natural hair, because your hair is not always going to be slicked down straight. There's going to be days where it's frizzy. It just is what it is. You know, when I go to work, I don't see other races of women, their hair always done. A lot of times their hair doesn't even look brushed, and they're coming into the office and their hair looks a mess.
That's true. Coke what is your standpoint?
I agree with you, bro. Like I think like women should be wearing their natural hair, to be honest. And obviously with black women, their hair, there's so many different grades to it. There's so much styling you can do with it, yeah. There's so much you could do with it. Even Crochet, when she was saying about dreads or dreadlocks, you can wear it down, you can wear it up, you can do loads of different styles to it, you know what I mean? And then on top of that, how are we meant to recognize our women out in public? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you see the back of their heads, man can't tell who they are.
Right.
You know what I mean? With the Muslim women, like, man can see she's wearing a headscarf. Oh, no, that's my people straight away.
Right.
I can identify them straight away, you know what I mean? And then obviously for the women, what it is, the men are meant to be the leaders, right? They're meant to lead, yeah? And what it is, if the women ain't listening, the women are like the second in command. They're the teachers. And if they're not listening and like they're the teachers of the next generation, it's just gonna be like shit rolls downhill, you know what I mean?
Right.
And if the daughters are seeing their mum always in this straight hair, they're gonna wanna be like their mum.
Right.
And their hair is too young and too like you can't do nothing with it at that point. They're gonna hate their hair. Their mum's not maintaining their hair. The mum's wearing weave or wigs. She's gonna want to be a part of that.
So a lot of black women say that black men don't like 4C hair, like Afro hair. They say that we only like the natural hair that loose and
No,
kind of
I'll be
curly.
honest with you. You know what it is, yeah? There's like a agenda going on, right? And what it is, yeah, it's working on the men as well. Because the men are lusting after the white women too. And it's like the black women are trying to look like the white women. And then it's like they might as well take the real version. Why are they gonna take the one that has to get done up to look like a white woman? Like it's a fucking mindfuck what's going on out here, bro.
So
And it's
would
like
you?
it's working on both sides. It's working on both sides. Like the black men are still lusting after the white women. Black women are trying to half look like white women. And it's like it's a whole shit show right now, man.
So would you say, do you like black women? Like, would you date a black woman who wears like Afro hair, like tight coily hair?
Yes, I want natural. I believe all women across all races, they should try and their best to do this natural thing. Forget all this lip filler, forget all this Botox, all this weave, all this wigs. And I know all races of women do it too, yeah. Let's not copy other people. Let's set our own trends, man. Like, let's
Right.
not be a part of that. Because what it is, I think there's another agenda going on as well where the makeup thing, right? You see the makeup in the beauty industry, it's a catch 22. The more you use it, the more you need.
Right. That's
You know what
facts.
I mean? If you use makeup, you're gonna
Mhm.
get spots. You're gonna need more makeup to cover up the spots. Now you've got marks. You're gonna need to do something else to fix these marks. So it's
Yeah.
a catch 22. Same with the weave. You lot got this weave in your heads. These extensions, like they're messing up you lot's hair. There's bald patches, thinning out in certain areas. It's a fuck show, man. Like they're just fucking us up, man.
Right. And really quick, Emma, what is your standpoint?
No offense, I have long hair. I have 3A hair, and guys, black guys, love my hair. They don't like kinky, coily hair. They're not turned on by it. They're turned on by long, curly hair.
She's a
Every
troll.
guy I like likes long, curly hair.
Can
But I
I say
mean,
one more thing?
go
Can I say one more thing?
go
Yeah.
ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Hear me out now. Yeah. Obviously, this beauty industry shit. Yeah, it's getting so out of hand. Yeah. BBLs, lip fillers, Botox, weaves, the lot. Right. Let's fast forward 5, 10 years down the line. Everyone's on board on this stuff. Yeah. They're just gonna let the transformers in, and no one's gonna know anyone from anyone.
Mm. So you think that's the real agenda?
I think they're working towards some sort of agenda like that. Trust me, it's gonna be peak. You're not gonna know the men from the women no more.
That's facts. Because back in the day, the only women who wore thick makeup and a wig at the same time were the. I'm not even trying to get banned. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
So my
listen, if every woman was natural,
right,
yeah, if every woman went natural, yeah, took off all the lashes, took off everything, kept it 100% natural, yeah, we would be able to spot a man in a wig a mile off.
right. That's
You
facts.
understand? But when everyone's doing Botox, everyone's doing BBLs, everyone's doing wigs, and then people are in nightclubs with the lights half dimmed and that, it's gonna be peak for everyone, man.
And so, did anybody else want to respond to what Emma said?
Yeah, I had a question for Emma. So Emma, you said black men don't like kinky hair. What makes you say that?
Dating this guy, and his mom and sister had like four hair, like short, and they couldn't grow their hair. And he loves Ash Cash. He's turned on.
Hold on, really quickly. Can you get closer to the phone? You're very low.
He's like turned on by like long curly hair. He doesn't like the short, the kinky African hair. He likes the Ethiopian, like Brazilian, like so some girls they want a partner who likes them, right? Like they want their boyfriend to be turned on by them. So they wear the long hair. Like that's just what guys like, and that's how women are gonna try to make themselves look.
Oh, so you're saying the one guy you dated didn't like kinky hair. You're not speaking about
Grew
black
up in
men in
New
general,
York.
right?
I'm from Queens. Went to school with black people. Like and guys love long hair. It's just like what they're into. And the girls that did have hair that were black, they wore weaves, they straighten their hair, they did shit like that. They slick the slick back bun. But guys love long hair.
So why do you think the data shows that black men marry black women more? Literally, the majority of black men are married to black women.
Keep in mind, a lot of black women can have loose hair, but some don't. And a lot of us get treatments, we get weaves, we get extensions, we do shit like that to fit the beauty standard. The girls I know, I also went to a school with white people, right? So that the girls I know that wore their hair natural, they're more likely to date a Hispanic guy, a white guy. Black guys just are not attracted to it.
Yeah, that's just not statistically true.
Stats on who
that the majority of black
men
who are married to black women, and black women are black women
not trying to compete with you. I'm not trying to compete with you. I'm just telling you what I know. What are the stats? If you can give me a stats on like the statistics of black men marrying women who wear their hair natural and their tight.
Yeah, so the majority
out, their hair natural out while it's tight in an afro. If you can give me the stats on that.
Okay, can I explain? Or are you gonna keep talking?
Let me finish. I don't see black women walking around with their hair natural. If black men were attracted to that, then maybe they would do it, but it's not common. So if you give me the stats on that, then okay.
Yeah, so what I was saying was the majority of black men who are married to black women, and black women on average have 4A, 4B, 4C hair. So your anecdotal experience doesn't trump data.
You said that black men were not mostly dating black women. That's the majority.
But no, you said what you said was that black men are not attracted to black women with kinky hair, and that's just not true. Like you're only going based on like the one dusty black man you dated. You're only going based on the one dusty
they weren't attracted to them. I never said that they would.
Yeah, and that's just not true.
So why aren't black women wearing their hair natural out if that's not
that's
true?
Your own anecdote. Can you show us a statistic that say that? That black women are not wearing their hair on average.
You see, they get emotional because they know it's true that black men are not attracted.
No, we just don't want to hear white people and black people business. We just don't want to hear white people and black people business.
My page, I'm not fucking white.
Brandy, what did you just say?
I get she's saying I get she's saying black men marry black women for all their wives natural, because I don't. Even when I see black men out with black women in public, a lot of them do not have natural hair. They have on a wig, they have on weave, they have on braids. So I get your stat, but it doesn't prove what she's saying, that black men do not like natural hair.
Wait, but so Emma's saying that black men don't like natural hair. How are you going to say most black men don't like natural hair when we don't see it? It will be something if we walked outside and 50% of women are wearing natural, kinky, coily hair, and the other 50% are wearing fake hair, and black men are always choosing the fake hair or the long curly hair. But it's not like that. More than 70% of black women are wearing fake hair. So this is what we have to choose from. It's not what we like, it's just what's given to us.
Right, and they still choose black women. Like if black men really didn't like natural hair, they would choose different races, but the data doesn't show that. This is just a white person in black people business, and it's kind of weird.
Please. So can we go back to like
pictures of my profile? I'm not white.
Go ahead, Audrey.
Can we go back to like you guys want us to wear our natural hair with no type of weave, anything. No.
Right.
Okay. So if I was to wear, you don't want me to wear braids without the weave, with the weave. I think that's actually crazy because every race wears extensions.
Right. So I mean, just because it damages your hair, like the Kennecolon fake hair, when it's woven into your natural hair, your hair is not able to absorb moisture, and then it breaks off your natural hair. So this is why black women, they wear these protective hairstyles for like their whole life, and their hair is only like down here at the longest. Like black women have been wearing protective hairstyles since 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, but then they get to 70 years old and their hair is the same length it's been their whole life.
I feel like that has to do with them not being able to take care of their hair, especially because it's all like they don't know how to do length retention, and that does have a lot to do with moisture, which you can.
Can I ask something though? Yeah, because look, yeah, I've got friends, yeah, And like they might have started their hair journey like a year or two ago, and they've flipping got long hair already.
Yes, my hair grows. It grows a lot. When I first had started, it's still growing. But from my standpoint, the protective stuff have helped me. But you have to be doing your part. You have to add the moisture to your hair. You have to take care of it. You have to do deconditioning treatments. You have to add that moisture for length retention. And a lot of people, it's not taught to them. Like their parents don't know how to do it, and depending on your porosity, it's hard to get the moisture to stay in your hair. And a lot of people aren't educated.
Yeah, I don't think my friends are doing all of that. I think they're just literally going to the hairdressers, getting it washed, blow dried and styled, and then they just put a do rag on it, and that's them for like 3-4 weeks, whatever.
Are your friends women or men?
I'm talking about men. Like, how come men can just
It's different
grow
for
out their
men.
hair?
It is very different
Guys
for
don't
men.
style their hair as much because they don't have this pressure for their hair to look nice all the time. Even a lot of times when guys have their hair like freeform locks or just messy, it kind of adds to that rough look. Like women don't have that same, what is it?
Also,
Women are given
men
that same
grow
luxury for us to just walk out with our hair.
Yeah, but you know, you lot can wrap it in like traditional headbands and that, and we can still identify our women in public. You know what I mean? Like, on an off day when your hair's a bit of a mess, yeah, oil it up, wrap it up, hit the road.
You can't just wrap it up because of it's poofy. You can't just wrap it up.
You lot
I'm
wear
sure men
bonnets,
like they
though.
could just put on beanies and hats. We cannot do that. The hat won't stay on. It's poofy.
No, but I know a lot of natural black women that wear a scarf over their head when they because they don't have time to do their hair.
But they probably
And
doing something to make it go flat underneath that.
yeah,
That's
but
the only way.
that's the point. They're not resorting to fake hair or a wig when they don't have time for their hair. They're just wrapping it up and they're still taking care of it, if that makes sense. So I mean, what we're trying to say is like stay away from the fake hair and just be natural. That's the point.
I understand
All
that,
of these
but
girls
now
be
it's
bald headed.
part of the code. Oh, okay.
Wait, what
Miss Emma girl.
Like she's in
Girl,
black people business. Can you drop her?
let me
Like
tell you something about black hair, because you keep saying stuff about black people don't grow hair. Let me tell you, for 4C hair, it could take my hair have to probably be I'm sorry, I'm not tripping over my words. My hair probably has to be 3 times your length just to look the same length as yours. It's called shrinkage. So when you have curls, they shrink up. So no matter how you could pull it out and it could be down your back and it's still all the way up to your ear. That's how curly hair works. I've seen black women who has hair down their back and it's still all the way packed up to their shoulder. That's how curly hair works. So all this looking at people saying they don't grow hair and they have short hair, you have to
You're
stop
right.
that, man. You don't
I
know
have
how long their
4C
hair is.
I have 4C
You don't see it
friends,
straight. I'm
and
confused.
it's shrinkage. It's like it can be long, like it just looks shorter because of shrinkage.
Okay, I'm
That's
glad
what
you
that's
understand that. So why are
no,
you saying
I
that black
understand
men
that. I
don't grow
understand.
hair?
No, I get it, but when you wear weaves and stuff, it can eat your hair. Like
Okay, that's some women who don't know how to take care of their hair.
yeah, you're right, and I agree. Like, but I just want to say this one person says it's not part of the culture. Y'all normalize insecurity. Insecurity is baked into the culture, though. Like that's just part of it. That's why the term bald headed is literally is an insult that people just use and throw around. Like it's in
You're
songs or
using it and
something.
throwing it around.
Well, I wasn't trying to do that. I was trying to like say that like
But you did.
let me try to explain myself, okay? The reason why people go for weaves and wigs is because they don't want, if they have short hair, they don't want to be called bald headed. And some people have shorter hair. Some people don't have shorter hair, but some do. And that's okay. But we have to have an honest conversation about how like black men are not into that, and that fuels insecurity, you know?
Some black men aren't, but that's not, I don't believe that's most.
Believe it's most because they make fun of short
Maybe
hair
where you
girls.
came from.
I'm from New York. I
Yeah.
grew up around black people.
Yeah, the
people are
black
everywhere.
people there in your school, that's probably what they liked.
They liked bald heads. What?
No, I'm saying they probably like what did you say, the long curly hair?
Yeah,
That's probably what they liked in your area. That's fine. But you cannot say that every black man like that. As you can see, black men on here who like natural hair.
I don't
Joy.
believe them because they're all following women with long hair. Tap their profiles. That's what I spent my
Host, do
time
you like
doing.
black women with natural hair?
All men like long hair.
Look at who they
Oh, we have
follow.
we have a
Trey,
black
I'm
man
gonna
right here who
step
said
off, yeah.
something
I'm gonna
different.
step off.
Wow.
People
Peace
say
out.
things, it might not be what they mean. Look at who they follow.
Wait, so I mean, you could check who I follow. I don't follow any straight hair women.
Not you, because I know that you care. But the other ones in the comment section, I think they're hypocrites, low key.
Yeah, but most men like long hair. You could have long 4C hair. There's nothing wrong with.
They're not following girls with 4C hair. They're
But if
following
you
girls
said
with loose hair.
if you said they're following the long hair, most men like long hair on women. Like there's nothing.
Yeah,
wrong
but
with
it's not 4C, is my point. Look at their following list right now.
But I mean, would you say that most women on the internet wear 4C hair though?
Actually, yeah. Most of my For You page is curly and kinky hair. Because look, your algorithm is going to show you what you like.
No.
I'm telling you, your algorithm is going to show you.
No,
what
but
you
I
like.
said most.
I'm telling you, any man who says that black women are not wearing their hair short on the internet, just do not like their hair kinky. I'm telling you.
No. But I'm asking you, do you think that most black women on the internet are wearing 4C?
Yes. Your algorithm will show you what you like.
That is cap.
No, it is not. And no, it is not. The internet is a vast place. You can see thousands of people with their hair natural. 4C. Your algorithm has to show you what you like, and clearly you do not like it if you're not seeing it.
No. So even if you look at stats, more than 70% of black women wear.
It's not even stats. It's just the internet. Because even in the internet, girls are showing themselves with their hair before it's done, after it's done. Like you can see everything.
So. No, ma'am. More than 70% of black women in the world wear fake hair. So why would I go on the internet?
Can you show me the stats on that? Because that's not been.
You go on my
not
link
consistently, not every day.
Go on my link tree. It's in my link tree. You can check it there. But more than 70% of black women wear fake.
And that goes back to the whole attraction argument, because women would do things that give them positive attention.
Not for men, no, they don't.
In the workplace, like to get positive treatment, people are going to do what gives them positive attention. So.
Okay, but what does that have to do with men, though?
Be about men sometimes too, if they're trying to attract a certain person, like.
But black women are not putting on straight hair wigs to attract black men. That's
oh, I can guarantee you they are.
Big Gray, what do you think about that?
Some of what she's saying is true, and some of it's a bit suspect. That's my opinion. Listening to her.
Tell me what is suspect.
Yeah, I agree. Some of it is true. I think most of the black women wearing wigs aren't targeting white men. They're definitely targeting black men.
Black women wearing wigs.
I was saying earlier when I went to college, all of my friends that had natural hair were dating white guys.
Okay, let me come in briefly. I will say black women who are wearing the European hair texture, they are just trying to look beautiful according to the Europeans. So they don't care who they attract.
You will get more positive attention wearing straight hair, from my experience, than wearing your natural hair from black guys. They will make fun of you.
Yes, I would agree with you somewhat in that point. Why? Because black men, like black women, carry self-hatred. Going back to the same point once again.
That goes back to my argument earlier. Why do you guys talk more about the women when you should be asking the men about their sexual preferences?
No.
Because as a society, we're in conversation with each other. So if you want to solve this issue, why are you guys targeting only the girls? It does create insecurity and it creates competition, because as a curly girl, you deal with girls who have insecurity and they project onto you, and if the issue is their boyfriends who prefer
in this conversation, let me come in this conversation. We are trying to wake up black men and black women. It's a two-way thing.
I don't
We're not
see
trying to
any
wake up
men.
women.
I don't see
No,
any men on the in
we
the
are.
picture in your content. You
I
always talk
understand.
about
Let
women.
him
I
finish
never
real quick.
see him interviewing because I've been following him for a long time. I don't see him interviewing men. I never see him asking men, why don't you like 4C hair? Why don't you follow 4C
Okay,
hair
let me
girls?
come in.
Why
Let
don't
me come
you
in.
jerk off to
Okay, hold on. Good thing I
Let me
muted you right there because you was wilding. But let him finish and then you can respond to him.
I just want to say that once again, it's a two-way street. Black men need to wake up, black women to wake up. If black women can wake up and go natural, black men will wake up and want natural. Simple.
It's facts. Now you can respond to him now.
When was the last time you watched a pornography video? Did you look for natural hair?
Me?
Yeah.
Me personally?
Mhm.
I look for whatever woman attracted me at the time. I was feeling fruity. Whatever I look for, that's what I look for when I was feeling fruity at the time. That's it, black or white. Me personally, when I was growing up, I went up with a majority of black girls, not white girls. My preference is black women. That's my preference. That's what really does it for me. Black women. I go in Vigo.
Believe you.
Well, you're asking me and I'm answering. So it's disrespectful you telling me what I believe or don't believe. Okay? I go on a page called Vigo and I go in Nigerian stream. So I'm interested in black women. When I go there, the majority of women, I'll say 80% or more, have wigs. Which is disturbing. It's very, very disturbing to see these beautiful black women wearing wigs in Nigeria. Very, very disturbing. We need to do something about
to say one last thing in the news.
Go ahead.
So what I really came here to tell you guys was that just because a woman is wearing a wig doesn't mean that they're insecure. There is some women who are insecure about their natural hair, but it's other women who are just wearing wig because they want to. And it's okay. Like it's okay to add weave if they want to. It's okay to do whatever you want with your hair. But yes, some women do have insecurities, but I don't think every woman who wears a weave has insecurity. No.
So Crochet, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I just think that's a cop out. I did a live like this before, and all the black women who wore wigs, they kind of said the same thing, like, "Oh, just because we just do it because we want to." Like, no, there's a deeper reason why you do it. Like, the majority of black women are in debt, but it's like, and they also conducted a survey. Black women spend 25% of their monthly income on hair care products alone. So there's something deeper besides, oh, we just do it to do it. Well, why are you in debt and buying like stuff to just do it? Like, why are you buying wigs if you know you're in debt? Like, pay that car note off, pay that mortgage off before you buy a wig, because it's something deeper that you're trying to seek. Like, you want to acquiesce to white society. Like, you want to look like the white woman. You want to look like the Indian. You want to look like the European. Like, that's the real reason. So we need to get to the root issue of why, like, you're trying to look like. I mean, I know why, because it's something deeper, obviously. But like, we can't fight this without by being dishonest. And when you say things like, "Oh, we just," let me just say this one last part. Just to say like, "Oh, we just want to switch it up," or "We're not insecure," you're not being honest. You're just not like, So yeah.
Honest thing, in my opinion, is like wigs are a way to assimilate so that you can get a better job, so that you can be seen as more conventionally attractive, because the reality, people's minds are warped and people have an idea that straight hair does make someone more feminine, more approachable. And not only do white people think this, but black people definitely think this. Like I told you guys, my hair is curly. My hair was straight at one point. The way that people treated me before was nice. I had to cut it all off, start from the beginning, and people treated me better when my hair was straight.
Okay, so but how come every time you speak about curly hair, it's in a negative connotation?
I never said anything negative about curly hair. I
Well,
was
I mean,
kinky hair is not treated well in the black community because looser hair is considered more hot in the black community. But in the white society, obviously curly hair is like fetishized sometimes, but most times straight hair is the standard, and it's what's gonna get you that job. Sometimes it's what's gonna make people treat you with more respect.
so your argument is valid like 20, 30 years ago, but today it's not like that.
Right? I'm speaking from a black woman's perspective. I'm only 23, and from my lived experience, is that it's very much a thing today. My hair
Okay,
is
so
curly, but I still have to deal with people asking if I work in customer service. When my hair is straight, I never get asked that.
okay, so but how is it hard for you to get a job when your hair is curly?
I made that up. I live in New York. I have interactions with random people every day. I'm telling you, I'm not making this shit up.
No, but you said it was hard for you, like you specifically.
I had someone tell me, it was a black woman. She said, wear your hair natural, and people will respect you for wearing your hair natural because they're going to know it's yours. Another girl told me that, um, what was the thing she said?
After she finishes, I want to add on to that.
Okay.
Yeah, like people told me that like if I wear my hair natural, like I would get more respect from the outside society. Um, the only people that respected me more were black women because my hair is a loose texture and it's a desirable texture. It's not kinky, and that's what they aspire to. So, are some black women insecure? Definitely, but the ones who are honest understand that certain traits just are more favored, not only in the community but outside. But like I said, like the girls who wear their hair natural, they do better when they're with like when they're on a college campus. But when it comes to getting a job, maybe not.
All right, so you can go ahead and respond to that.
Yeah, I was gonna say when it comes to when black women do say like, okay, when I wear straight hair, I get treated better versus wearing my natural hair, I get treated horribly. Honestly, I think those are just the perceptions we put on other people about because that's what we think about ourselves, about our natural hair. So, for example, what you said, like, oh, when I wear straight hair, I just get treated better. It's probably because okay, so it's not that you're getting treated better or worse. It's just that in your mind, you're like, because you already said it yourself, like straight hair is better, it's prettier. So you probably act more confidently. So that's why
Prettier.
you
I never
get
said it was prettier. I love my curly hair.
okay. No, you said that it's more desirable. Black men
More
like
desirable by men who have
yeah, let me just
dreads.
finish what I was saying. So yeah, so you probably
Tell me
act
that
a
I'm saying
different
something
way.
that I'm not
Okay, yeah,
saying.
you probably act a different way when you're wearing the straight hair versus your natural hair. You probably have a negative outlook. That's why you put your negative perceptions on other people. Like, oh, I didn't get the job because I wore my natural hair. No, that's not the reason. You're just putting that on other people. That's literally not true.
Never said that I didn't get a job because of my natural hair, but definitely got treated with more respect after wearing natural hair, after wearing straight hair. And another thing I want to say, I've never worn wigs. My hair was like straight from the scalp, so maybe that also changes how I'm treated. Because like when the lace is lifting, it doesn't look great. It obviously looks unprofessional, and you're in those cases when you can't afford a good wig or you can't afford to get your hair to look natural because it does take a lot of money. You're not going to get better treatment, but I can guarantee you some a natural looking straight hair is going to give you better treatment than natural looking curly hair. But a bad wig, natural hair beats a bad wig every time.
Yeah, no, I just think you've been indoctrinated with white supremacy, and I don't blame you because all black people have, and we just have to unlearn it.
I am telling you from my experience that like this is not made up shit. Like people around us, everyone has white supremacy, and how you get treated is based on people's perception of the world. So like we're all dealing with white supremacy. It's not just me; it's people around me. You know. So But I agree.
Right, that's why I said all Black people. But
well,
I'm just saying that
I exist in a
you
place where
yourself,
there are more than Black people. I'm
you
also
probably
living
don't
around
live in
Asians,
reality.
white
So you're
people,
not
Hispanic people. So
perceiving
my
reality
reality is that I'm
correctly.
living in a multicultural society, and
You're
that the
just not
people
perceiving
around
it
me
correctly.
have all been indoctrinated with white supremacy. It's not just me; it's everyone around me. And for you to come here and tell me that I'm making shit up, that's actually so fucking disrespectful. And people like you, I'd never want to have a conversation with, because not only do Black people around me have white supremacy, it's everyone around us.
Right. So I didn't say that. I wasn't minimizing your experience. I'm saying you don't live in reality. You're not perceiving reality correctly because
Tell
of
me how to perceive reality. Everyone's perception
what
of
you just said
reality
about
is
what
relative.
you said about natural hair.
Everyone's
It's just not
perception
correct.
of reality
It's
is
just not
relative,
correct.
bro. You can't
It's
tell
just not
someone
correct.
that their reality isn't real. I wouldn't tell you that your reality isn't real. I wouldn't tell you to your
No,
face.
you're just not
I would
perceiving it
not tell
correctly.
you to your face.
You're not
I
perceiving
wouldn't
it
tell you.
correctly.
I wouldn't tell you to your face that your perception that natural hair is
Okay,
beautiful
well, I
isn't
did it.
real.
Okay,
So
well, I did.
don't tell me that my reality isn't real. We can have a conversation about our opinions, but you do not tell me about what my reality is and how my perception is fake or not fake.
Well, it's not real.
It is real.
So really quickly,
and that's exactly what white people do. They like to.
Hold on. Really quickly, Mila, what is your standpoint? Because you didn't get to speak yet. Is she still here? Okay, y'all saying crochet is rude. I mean, I don't know. She just speaking facts. But curly girl Emma, you can go ahead and.
Like, white supremacy is real. Like, let's not forget that it's real and that people's perception is motivated by it. But
I agree.
To tell someone that they're making shit up because of their own white supremacy, and then to say that other people don't have white supremacy indoctrinated in them, so that won't affect how they're treated, that's stupid. Because, like, if I have
Who said that?
That's exactly what you were insinuating, though.
What did I say?
You know what you said.
What did I say?
You said that I think that I'm getting treated better because of white supremacist ideology. And
No, I didn't. I didn't say that. I literally did not.
Guys, did you guys
that.
not remember? Did you guys not remember when I was talking about how I get treated better when my hair is straight, and she was saying that I make that up?
I never
that
said
it's because that, like, I think I get treated better because I think that straight hair is prettier because of white supremacist ideology. Did she not say that?
Yeah, I never said you made it up. I said you're not perceiving reality.
You definitely said I made it up.
No, I did not. Host, did I say that, or did I say she's
look,
not perceiving reality correctly?
Celestial Nubian says that she did say that.
No, I didn't. I said you're not perceiving reality correctly.
That was after you said that first thing. You like to gaslight people, right? Is that like your hobby? Like to gaslight people?
Okay.
No, you couldn't even reinstate my what I said.
123 says, I don't want a daughter with 4C hair. We have to acknowledge that people like this exist. People whose perception of the world is motivated by who they do and don't want to bring into the world. Because not wanting to have a child with 4C hair, if you have that thought process, you're going to try to hide your hair, you're going to try to project onto other people, and then you're going to get a wig, and you're going to paste it onto your head. And then everyone around you who has that same ideology is going to be like, wigs look great, wigs are amazing, wigs are this, wigs are that. And it's not just like women, it's men too. So this is the world that we live in, and that's what's going to motivate people's behavior.
When you brought up the point that people get treated better when they're wearing straight hair in a workplace, why did you bring up that point?
I brought it up because in where I work in corporate America, people do have a sense that straight hair is more professional and more like deserving of respect. I don't really know where it comes from, but I do think it comes from anti-Blackness, which is why I said that white supremacy is a real thing. But like, everyone is indoctrinated by it. It's not just Black people who have that thought process. I've had people say that my hair was distracting. People want to touch it. Obviously, they find my hair attractive, but they see it as like a nuisance kind of thing, you know?
Okay.
Can I come in?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
What she's saying there, with it saying straight hair is more professional, I've heard that speaking to a few Nigerian women. So that view is true. they think that the natural look is not professional, neat, or tidy in their view.
I'm sleeping.
So I do agree with on that point. I spoke to a few Nigerian women, and they told me the same thing.
Okay, so Emma, do you think that's a valid reason for a woman to straighten her hair because of the workplace?
Yeah, because it's one thing to not care about men and like what gets them like going. It's another to be denied a job when you have to survive under capitalism and get paid. So like I could ignore a man's sexual
No,
preferences.
don't put that on me. I'm not sleeping.
I
Sorry.
can ignore a man's sexual preferences, but I can't ignore the fact that someone has a better job than me because their hair is different.
Okay, so I hold on really quickly. I think that was Mila that was snoring, so I muted her. I think she over there knocked out. But so today, like that's why I said that argument will work 20 years ago, 30 years ago, because today women are not getting denied jobs because of their hair and because of the workplace.
Right,
And
like I had to
hold on.
overcome
No,
people's
but hold on.
perception and biases, but my hair has kind of been a deterrent to that because people
Okay,
do make
but
comments.
but also women are not going to the salon and saying, "Hey, I need to put my hair in a straight hairstyle because if I don't, I will not be able to get a job." Women today are.
They are. You have not had a you have not stepped foot into a black hair salon.
Wait. Women today are doing it because they think they look better with straight hair.
Exactly.
Now you can respond to that.
I don't think you've stepped into it. Have you even gone to the salon with your mom? You said you're from New York, right?
Oh, New York or Shay?
You.
No, I'm not from New York. No.
Your interviews are in New York.
No, they're not. They're in
Oh.
DC.
Where?
DC.
Right. So DC is a like professional black hub. I can guarantee you, if you went to the salon with your mom, there are tons of black women in corporate America, especially the black women with positions of power. Their hair is straight. It's not a made up concept. And this is something that has been going on for a long time. If you like, and it's not just the past, it's the present too. Like, I need you guys to realize, like, the curly hair movement, especially since Trump is in office and there's been like conservatism rising, a lot of people are doing this not because they want to attract a man, but also because of their jobs too. It's not just about men.
Hold on. There's women today are not going to the salon and getting these hairstyles because of the workplace. That's not.
Yes, they are.
Okay, show me where that. Tell me a story where somebody.
There's no way to point that out. Like, there's no statistical way to do that.
Okay,
but like, it's about how they're perceived.
From your own experience, tell me of a story that happened or where that happened.
Well, when I wear my hair curly, sometimes people would be like, did you even put in effort? Like, did you even try? Like, there are literal. Okay, what studies? Celestial Nubian says that there are studies.
No. So I'm saying name an experience where you or another black woman was like, I'm going to the salon to get my hair straightened because I'm trying to get a job or anything related to the workplace.
No, let me ask you a question. Why do you think people wear wigs? Because everything is about perception, and perception affects all parts of our lives.
Okay, but we both agree that in your personal life that never happened.
It is. It does. It's just a part of the conversation. I'm not.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it then.
Tell you about it. People.
You said it happened in your real life, so you should have a story for me where somebody who you know this happened to, or this happened to you, like
happened. What happened? What do you mean?
So they had to go to the salon and get their hair straightened because of the workplace. Tell me a story like that.
People don't just start to do things because they're looking for a job. It's just like about how you exist in the world. Like, if you're employed, you're going to be doing things to make yourself palatable to your employer. What are you talking about? Like a specific incident is just part of the culture.
No, because you're acting like natural hair cannot be presentable.
I'd never said that. I said that there's a level of professionalism associated with straight hair that makes you more of an advantage.
Okay, but women are not straightening their hair to get an advantage on work.
Yes, they are. Women are straightening their hair for all sorts of reasons.
Okay,
Women are wearing their hair straight for all sorts of reasons. Okay, and we can talk about why that it happens, but for you to say that it doesn't exist is like really crazy. So you
Okay,
wait,
so
wait. I want to know. Wait, so you really think that black women are just straightening their hair for no reason?
no, not no reason.
What's the reason?
So they're trying to fit into society, right?
Yeah, society includes a job.
Hold on. But they're not doing it because of the workplace. So number one, they do it because they think they look better with straight hair. They're trying to conform to a European beauty standard.
What do you think better means? Better is part of better is not just being attractive. It's about being seen as professional. It's part of being seen as not poor. It's all these things combined. It's not just about being attractive. It's about how you present yourself. Like imagine being a man, right? Wearing a hoodie versus a suit. It's like that. Women obviously prefer you in the suit, but so does an employer. So it's not just about beauty, it's about beauty affects everything. So when I say beauty, it can literally be about a job too. It's about how society treats you. It's the same as skin color, it's the same as your facial features. Like people do these things to fit in so that they can have a better life, and
But
people
so
don't want to be left behind.
I do tons of interviews, and every single time I ask a black woman, "Why do you straighten your hair?" They never want to tell me because I'm trying to get a
What
job.
age group are you
So
asking though? Because
I've
most of your
hold
videos
on.
are girls in college.
I've asked black women
I've
from
only
30,
seen because I've
40,
been watching your videos and it's
50.
always girls in high school or college.
Yes, that's majority. But I've asked many black women from various different ages, and not one person has ever told me that.
Bro, I promise you that that is part of the conversation. And to deny it, in my opinion, you're doing yourself a disservice because that gets at the root of the main thing. Like it's not just anti-blackness, it's literally ingrained in every part of our society. It's not just like how hot you're the guy you want thinks you are. It's literally about getting a job. It's about being treated with respect in society. That's why people wear these wigs. They're trying to be more palatable in different ways.
No, but the thing about it is when you
It's
ask
the
somebody,
same reason why black men get low
hold on.
cuts.
The thing about it when you ask somebody a question, the first reason that comes to mind is what they're going to tell you. So if they're really trying to straighten their hair because of their workplace, they will tell you that. And for me to have interviewed hundreds of people and not ever once hearing that tells you that that is not
It's
happening.
because you don't ask
So
the right
hold on, wait.
questions.
No,
You're
wait.
coming from a place of
But if I asked women 30 years ago the same question, I bet you tons of women would tell me that. So,
but
like
you
I'm saying,
can't
it's not
you really
happening.
have no way of knowing that though. And I'm going to be honest, I feel like you don't ask questions in good faith. Like I feel like you're kind of trying to get a specific argument out of people. So like if you ask people like, "Hey, like did you wear the would you wear your hair natural to a job interview?" Ask them those questions. Like, would you wear your hair natural if you were trying to get someone to think that you're smart? Like, what kind of hairstyle would you wear if you wanted someone to think that you were employed? Like questions like that instead of what do you think is more beautiful is better to get to gauge where people's heads are at.
No, but so when I ask somebody, would you wear your natural hair to a job interview? That's me putting a connotation in their mind to make them think about work. When I ask them, why do you wear fake hair? Now they get to grasp their whole existence and tell me, okay, she dropped off, and tell me why they wear the fake hair. So it's idiocy. But does anybody else have anything else to say right now? Let me tell you.
Yeah, I was going to say when it comes to when they say like, oh, there's studies on this, I haven't seen a study ever in recent times, like in the past 10 years, saying that a black woman was fired for because she wore her natural hair. Like I've just never seen that. Like people think like, okay, well, I'm a black woman and I wear my natural hair and I got fired, so that must mean they fired me for my no. Was it because you were late? Was it because you were not doing your job properly? Like black women, that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of black women don't perceive reality correctly. So it's not that your experiences are invalid or that they don't happen. It's just like you're not perceiving it correctly because you think you have negative thoughts about your own hair, so you put that onto other people. Like no employer is thinking, oh wow, she has straight hair. Okay, I'm gonna hire her. Oh, she got her natural hair. Nah, I'm not gonna hire her. Like no employer is thinking that. Now, of course, if there is a case, I would like someone to put it in the comments where like a black woman specifically got fired because the employer said, I'm not going to hire you because you have natural hair. Like, I would like to see that. Like, just because someone makes a comment about your hair, that's not discrimination. Discrimination is saying, like, I'm not going to hire you because you're black. Like, I'm not going to hire you because you're natural hair. But someone making a comment like, oh, can I touch your hair? Like, that's not discrimination. That's just ignorance. Like, that's not discrimination. Like, someone saying, like, someone at your job, because some black women will say like, I don't wear natural hair at the work because people make fun of me. And which I'm not saying that's not like your experience is invalid. Of course that's bad, but they'll say comments like, oh, you have a new hairstyle today. Like, come on now, be for real. Right. Like you just want to wear the straight hair because you think you look prettier. Like, just be for real and say that. Like, yeah.
Shaman, is it Shaman?
Yeah, you can say this is Malik from the other day.
Okay. What is your standpoint?
Yeah, I think I don't know if because I just jumped into the conversation. I don't know if the younger lady was justifying why she wears straight hair and saying, I don't know if she said it was prettier or just is more professional. But I think that she made a good point when she said that men even cut their hair to look more professional in the workplace. Because, going back to the beginning of time. Now, I don't know if she's saying that it looks prettier. I didn't catch that part if she's saying that at all. But black men, I think the whole argument of what you have is very hypocritical in a way when it comes to men, because cutting our hair coming into America was something to pull us away from our culture, and it's something that we continue to do today. I feel like you pointed out with black women, but you do not hold black men accountable in that same way. We still perpetuate that same cycle. And even when you look at the history, the language that we're speaking right now, this is not a language that we were originally given at the beginning of time. Like, we can't, if we're coming from Africa, our language was originally an African language, and we still perpetuate the cycle just to assimilate by speaking American, which we are doing right now. So it's a very hypocritical argument to me when, again, we had the conversation the other day, and for the conversation to go on, it's just a hypocritical point of view, and it's subjective. You keep on trying to point out that black women perpetuate this cycle of trying to straighten their hair and look presentable in the American society, but black men do it too. But you don't see it the same way. And in the same way that black men have advanced and taken ownership of the black haircut, where they do designs and made it a part of black culture, women have done their same thing. We conversated the other day and we said that Africans wore wigs, weaves, extensions. Even if you do the research, I know that you keep on saying that they didn't wear straight hair, but if you look at some of the actual pictures, there is straight hair and they would adorn it. And there's many civilizations where hair may have started off in a, say even for the Europeans or the white people, they had a sickness that ran rampant, and everybody was going bald because of the sickness, and they started wearing wigs, white people. And then after the sickness went away, they still perpetuated the cycle and wore it as a fashionable statement. Many societies have done this. So it's just a hypocritical point of view. And my question to you is, like, where would we stop at if you have this idea, if this is your true motive to say, well, black women, they need to stop trying to assimilate to the European culture. Well, where do we stop at with the language? Are we to stop the language? Are we to stop black men from wearing haircuts? Because we do this because they thought our hair looked unmanageable. It didn't look professional. So in that way, I do agree with the young lady who was saying that. But I don't, if she's agreeing and trying to say that she just thinks it looks professional and more prettier than black hair in her own opinion, I don't agree with that. But yeah, I feel like it's a hypocritical argument.
If we had if we had access to our original language and we still chose to speak English, then that would make sense. But we don't even know what that is. So
there's a whole continent full of African language.
But we're not all African. A lot of people are from America. That's a whole nother debate as well. But we generally do not know what language that we speak. Now there are Africans that are from Africa. They come to America and they still know their roots. A lot of Black people in America, we don't know our roots, so we can't even go back and speak that even if we wanted to.
Okay, so in that same instance, you can say, well, because we're American and we're doing this newfound tradition in our own culture, we don't need to revert back to this Africanness that you're trying to promote. We are our own culture. So in that same way, you can justify the same thing.
The thing with wigs, though, Black women have their natural hair, and they're still choosing to wear the fake hair. They don't have to do that. Nobody's whipping them or doing anything forcing them to wear these hairstyles.
No one's forcing Black men to cut their hair.
So Black men cutting our hair, we're still wearing our hair natural.
This is not a natural practice that was given to us coming over into America. You are having your opinion, or your statement is that women are trying to look white, and the information that I've already presented to you, that many cultures, whether it was Asian, African, or whatever the case may be, they wore wigs for a hierarchy. They did it for traditional purpose if they had a party, and then some wore it for fashionable reasons. And then also I pointed out that even Asians in other countries currently are wearing different textured hairs, and then white people as well inside of our country. But this is not a conversation that you point out or try to find some type of problem with when it comes to other races. And this makes me think that you have a resentment or a bitterness or some type of something towards Black women, because out of all the Black problems that's going on in the world, DEI problems and all of this, you've chosen to point this out to Black women. And it seems very really insidious in a certain type of way. Now, I do believe that people, there are women who don't understand that. Now, if you're talking about wearing these wigs to the point of, breakage and you're hurting yourself and like you're not taking care of your hair, that's another conversation than saying that. And if you're the type of woman that really has an insecurity about your hair, I think that's a whole different conversation. If you're trying to encourage them to say, hey, look, you can do this healthy, but if you're at the point where you only want to wear wigs to cover your hair, it's sickening, and you're going off of that influence from white oppression. Yeah, because that does exist.
When other ethnicities and races like the Egyptians and Asians and white people, when they wear wigs, they were never forced. It didn't start from a negative place. So this was by choice. Black women today wearing wigs started from a negative place where they're trying to fit into society, trying to cover up their natural hair because of insecurities and trying to look like other people. So this is why I'm like, okay, we need to have you guys wear natural hair and not this fake hair, if that makes sense.
But Black women weren't forced to wear that hair or to straighten their hair. And also, if you can acknowledge, if we're already acknowledging that because you are separating Black women for some reason, if you are able to acknowledge that different races, including our own as far as African, were able to wear wigs and weaves and extensions to see the art of it and just letting it be a part of expression, the same way I told you before, that just because collard greens and all these other things was given to us ignorantly, we turned it into something that many white businesses benefit from now, whether it's, KFC, Popeyes, whatever the case may be. They turned it around and showed the resilience of Black people, and saying that they, although you try to make something negative, we turned it into something and saw the art of it. It's like the N-word almost. The N-word was something given to us, and it depends. It differentiates for each person, but for the N-word, it started off ignorantly until we took it back and made it into something else. Some people still get offended by it, but it's the intention behind it. And the intention goes into even the weave and the extensions. It's really the intention that you have to worry about. And that's why I said it's dangerous when you put a blanket statement saying that people want to be, or Black people want to be white. And I told you that it's different nowadays because we are not being, it's not like we can't select our TV nowadays. Nowadays, a lot of the Black young youth and women are being influenced by the Beyoncés, Cardi B's, and more. And you can also keep your hair healthy while putting on wigs, weaves, and also not even look at it as something that has to be something that you have to stay away from due to a bad trauma in our history, because the queens and kings used to wear it back in our days. And I think that that could be a symbolism and an irony in it that white people try to take this option away from us in a very insidious way, but we don't have to go by that. We're just different.
Like Crochet said earlier, it's really due to white supremacy and pushing white ideology on to everybody, because it comes from marketing. So like even the relaxers and things like that back then in the 90s, women used to wear their hair natural all the time. And then TV ads were like, hey, put in this relaxer, your hair becomes straight. So then people start doing it. So it's not because of just free will. We've been marketed to so much over our lifetime. Thoughts that we think today, I want to do this. But really, do you want to do that? Or did somebody subliminally tell you to do that? If that makes sense.
But again, that's a conversation for a different day, because you have even the people that you have on here, they are not the same people that was born at that time, or even though there's been many years after slavery and things like that. And the fact that we have iPhones now and we're selecting what we want to see makes a big difference in somebody trying to control our point of view and what we're selecting to see. And I think that if you keep on harping on this idea of it's almost like you're trying to force it on Black women. And they're telling you, hey, because the argument that you even have is very subjective. And when I don't know if you could do the research whenever you get a time, but like look up subjective arguments. This is not a Black or white thing, because it really depends on the person who is doing it. Everybody has different reasons for doing it. And you can't just put a blanket statement on something like that and just say all Black women are doing this because they want to be white. That's something that you're trying to force people to do. And you got to ask yourself, why do you want that narrative to be given? Why do you want that narrative? I mean, what does it do for you? Like at that point.
Real quick, I'm gonna let Coco say what she got to say. I see you in the comment section. So
Hi.
what's going on?
Do you believe in systemic racism?
In a way, kind of explain that.
So I believe that systemic racism thrives on covert racism during modern times, and that a lot of things that are racist isn't gonna be outwardly blatant. And I do believe that there is discrimination in the workforce when it comes to natural hair. Even I wear my afro almost every day. I wear it for special occasions. I wear it for photos. And I've never been to a job interview with my natural hair. I would never. Because one, getting a job interview isn't something that's easy to come by, and I wouldn't risk it. And even when I do show up to work with natural hair, I have to. It's really hard to like get it out, because I've wore an afro to work and I've had comments. I've had to have whole meetings about it, and I've had my own office with my name on the door. And so that's just my experience. And then also
so really quick, what did they say in these meetings about your hair?
I was questioned if my hair met the standards in the workplace. And yeah, that's about it. Just question if it was allowed, and did I make sure it was okay that I could wear my hair in my office. And so
okay, so who pulled you into the office? Was it your boss? Was it just another employee? Or
so where I worked is kind of I was a contractor, so the person was the building manager, and my boss worked in another state and I worked overseas. So I've had this conversation with them. They're not my boss, so I wasn't too flustered about it. However, no one questioned the previous person who worked in my office about her natural hair. She's not Black. She doesn't have 4-type hair. And
when did this happen? Like how many years ago?
let's see, it was 2022. Yeah, 2022.
So you were overseas when this happened, or you were in the States?
Technically, the States is a U.S. territory, so, but overseas.
Okay, so why didn't you try to sue? Why didn't you try to tell somebody, or like why
The
didn't
situation was handled. However, it is something that had happened. Imagine if this person wasn't blatant about what they said and instead target me for smaller things here and there. I'm just lucky they were able to say the quiet part out loud, right? So that's not everyone's case. Not everyone gets that person who's able to say the quiet part out loud so that they can put it in paperwork and get those people taken care of. That's not always the case.
Okay, so but before this, or you said you never went to a job interview with your hair natural. So
Now, mind you, I'm young, so that means I haven't had many.
is that just an insecurity that you have in your own mind?
No, I love my natural hair.
No, but I mean, it's an insecurity, meaning that you're afraid that you might not get a job because of your natural hair. So that's an insecurity.
I guess, yes, then sure.
So, but what I'm saying is, when you go to a job interviewer is not going to be like, "Oh, your hair is natural, you don't get the job."
They're not going to say that out loud, would they? Or could they just say, I don't want to deal with that. Let me just go with the other Black girl who don't wear her hair like that.
So what about when you do a job interview and you don't get the job and you're wearing straight hair? What then?
I'm sorry, repeat that.
So when you're wearing straight hair, you go to a job interview and they decline you. They don't want you to work there. What is that? What does that mean?
I just take the L and move on. I don't really think too much about it. I don't internalize it. But I don't straighten my hair for job interviews. I actually just slick it back into a bun, which.
But so why wouldn't you wear the natural or like a slick back?
It's still natural. It's just.
So when you do that, like, or if you were to wear afro and you didn't get the job, now you blame it on the afro.
No, I wouldn't blame it on the afro. It just depends. Depends on what's being picked up.
I mean, you would, because that's why you're saying you wouldn't wear the afro to a job interview, because if you didn't get the job, then you're going to be like, oh, it was my natural hair.
I would say it's possible that it could be a reason why I didn't get the job. I wouldn't say it's the only reason.
Crochet, what do you got to say?
Yeah, I was gonna say, so it just doesn't reflect the data that we've seen. We haven't seen like large amounts of Black women applying for jobs with their natural hair and them getting denied because of their natural hair. Like, that's just something we haven't seen. Now, I'm not saying it's not possible or probable or even plausible. It's just that essentially we're just going based on assumption, because we don't know why you didn't get the job. But a lot of Black women will assume like, oh, it's because I wore my natural hair. When, I mean, it could be the case, like, yeah, but you're essentially just assuming. So we can't go based on like, oh, I wore my natural hair, so that's why I didn't get the job.
So you think the Crown Act was just created for nothing?
Exactly.
The Crown Act was created because it was proven that people were discriminating against us for our hair, and that's not a federal law.
Exactly.
Right. So why haven't we seen like a big case in the last 10 years?
We see it every day on the news.
Systemic racism thrive on covert racism.
Okay, name one case that happened where a Black woman didn't get the job because of her natural hair in the last 10 years.
Have you seen?
We just haven't seen it. I'm not saying it's not possible. Of course it can be possible. Like, we live in white supremacy like culture, so of course anything is possible. It's just we haven't seen the data to back that up. It's like when women say like, I feel unsafe around men because I think a man's gonna do that, but the data doesn't show that. So like, we could feel one way, but it doesn't reflect the data. That's what I'm trying to say.
That, right, even though there hasn't been a lot of hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Even though there hasn't been specifically on that, but there has been. I know that in the workplace, that's why they had to make the Crown Act, because there has been a lot of people saying, you know, certain hairstyles, whether your hair was too big or too afro-y, that was unprofessional for the job. And people have also often questioned, just because I have a lot of afro or hair on my head, how is that unprofessional? And then also in schools, we games or whatever the case may be, because that's not a hairstyle that they allow. Or even in schools, they're saying that you just can't, even if you're in the hallways, you can't have certain hairstyles, but it more pertains to Black people. And if it's happening in the schools, what makes you think it's not happening in the corporate world? If they're already making the rules for this for the kids in schools, there's actual kids. There was somebody on the news the other day where a young little girl was crying because she went to a private school and she had dreads in her hair, and white boys held her down and cut her braids off with scissors and called her hair ugly. This is not something that people just make up. This is something that's attacking Black women and their hair. So when they go into these corporate rooms dealing with white people, we live in this European-made society. So what makes you think it's not happening? Well, these kids aren't learning it by themselves. The reason why we have in this Crown Act is so we can go into professional places and feel secure, that we can be ourselves. I know me as a Black man, I think twice about wearing cornrows to an interview, or to not try to tidy up my fro, whether it's to put some gel in it, make it curly, or whatever the case may be, so I do not intimidate the white man too much that I have an afro, so you won't think that I'm just a typical N-word or hood boy, you know, because they want us. That's why I said before, even when men, we cut our hair and make it look professional. This was the practice taught to us by white people. When Africans first came into America, they would make them cut their hair to let go of religious practices, to let go of, just to help them assimilate more. And they wanted a more tidy, neater look. So this is something that's been going on from the beginning of time.
Right. So why do you guys think we haven't seen like a case in the last 10 years, basically stating like a Black woman was discriminated against, like, i.e. she didn't get the job because of her hair? Like, why haven't we? Is it because Black women aren't like reporting it, or
no one ever,
racism and assimilation?
Exactly. I don't think anybody we just kind of go with it. I know me as a Black man, I've done that oftentimes. Most Black men go and get a haircut before they go get a job. Why not go? Why do you have to go get a haircut? Or, well, I want to look more neater, I want to look more tighter. Where did you get that from? If you're talking about this natural thing for men, or for women, for men as well. And we don't report it. We don't say anything. We just go with the punches. And Black people from the beginning of time, so we don't rock the boat too much. We just go with it. But things like the Crown Act and people fighting for things, fighting for situations like this and bringing it to more attention, even with this little girl that's got her braids cut at school, it's letting people know that there is a problem that America has with Black hair.
Okay, do you guys think that Black women should assimilate and wear European, Indian, Asian hair to get a job? Or would you just say Black women wear your natural hair and eventually you're just going to get a job?
I think that well, I'm going to let Coco talk first, go.
Well, I think that I think it would take like the majority of Black people being able to take a stand and do that, but I don't know if a lot of people are able to decolonize their mindset and want to even take up that fight. And then a lot of people don't have the time or the resources because community is not there, money is not there. People got to take care of their families. And so, I'm sorry, I kind of lost my train of thought.
No, you're good. I think the ultimate thing that people should do, and me and you talked about that the other day online, and I try to make that point the other day. When you really think about freedom, freedom really is the right for you as a person, period, to be able to be evil or good, right? And I think people take that away from Black people a lot of times. And they always look for this moment to say, like, especially white people, yeah, I got you, see? And they try to justify slavery. And it's like, but white people don't have to think about that idea. So when it comes to hair, it is your choice. And that's why I said, if you take away, people try to make Black American history the beginning for Black people, and it's like, no, Africa was before that. So if anything, if Black women take on this idea to say, I'm just like the queens of my past, not my trauma that the Europeans try to give me and try to break me of, but the queens of my past who had a choice to put on a wig, who had a choice to, without thinking about white people, without a choice to wear my natural hair and say it's beautiful, a choice to wear wigs or whatever the case may be to keep it protected, because even wigs back then was used for protecting them from their scalp from waves. I mean, certain light or UVA rays or whatever the case may be. It was more than that. It was for celebrations, also hierarchy, a whole bunch of other things.
So
okay,
wigs back then weren't used to protect them from UV rays.
It was part of it. I looked it up. If you look up and do the research, it was used for, it showed hierarchy, but it also showed, it was for celebrations. They would use wigs, weaves. They had extensions back then too. They would use sheep fur sometimes.
Right.
And also protecting it from the sun.
They were a lot different. Their reasons were a lot different. Like today, a lot of Black women, like you guys are saying, they wear wigs because of insecurities and things like this. They're not just doing it because of hierarchy or celebrations. And I mean, they do put on straight hair wigs for celebrations because they think they look better like that because of brainwashing. But back in the day, Black people's natural hair protected them from UV rays, because when you let it grow up and how it's supposed to grow, it naturally goes up and out. And it shades you, keeps you cool. So there's no need for a wig or a weave to protect you from UV rays or any of these other things.
Yeah, but if you do the research, they'll say that it was used for multiple reasons, so hierarchy. But in history, it has always shown us to, like I said before, like history has always shown, even if it started off with the royalty doing it before, the people beneath them, they would follow, like we have always done. Like the European queens of our past have done that, and people followed them, and they were on to the next style or whatever the case may be. But it's always been that way. Like we've always followed. So who's to say? And that's what I said about innovation. If wigs and weaves and all of this was used at one time and was, it's evident that it was in our past. Who's to say innovation wouldn't have took off and gone to the point that everybody was wearing weaves and wigs just for style. They were already wearing extensions and things like that. And it's just not Egypt. You're talking about Egypt too. There's many other African nations inside of the continent who were also wearing wigs. And I said that before, even with Asians, they wore wig pieces. Europeans have done it. People have innovated, and it doesn't have to be born out of oppression. People can do it for style. People can do it for many other reasons. And as long as you're keeping yourself healthy, there's nothing wrong with it. As long as you have a good point of view of yourself and go ahead and if you feel insecure about showing your real hair, that's a problem. So I encourage you to figure out what that's about, and don't feel like you have to put on a wig all the time because you want to assimilate. That's a problem with your character. Now that's another conversation. I would encourage all Black women, if you're doing that, definitely look at your character. But if you do have a healthy mindset and you feel like doing whatever you want to do it. And then also to the point of saying that Black people don't have straight hair, they do. You know what I'm saying? And they get to play with any texture they want. It exists in their culture.
Really quick though, Blue Heart, my bad. I don't think we got to hear from you yet. If you're
here. Yeah, not yet. Yeah, I'm still here, brother. How you doing, man? Good topic, great topic. I love your content, man. Love your content. I often speak about this, often on my panels as well, right? Because it seems like getting through to the women who love to wear the wigs, weaves, and things like that. They are already indoctrined into. In my opinion, I think it's anti-Black. They are already have been indoctrined into feeling like or thinking like this is better than them. I often try to encourage Black women. Nothing is better than the Black woman, but the Black woman. Nobody can out Black woman, but the Black woman. One of the most things we often complain about our women coming up missing. They're not coming up missing because of wigs and weaves and shit like that. What is more important? Their melanin, our organs, things like that. They don't mind unaliving us for what's important, but we don't mind unaliving ourselves or damaging ourselves for what we think is important, in which we would attribute that to other races' style and culture and hair, right? So we need to put power back into the Black woman's hair, because that is her image. That's something that they try to duplicate and emulate, but they just can't get that curl the way it's supposed to curl. So that's one thing, we often hear, right? Can Black women have anything? Yes, you can. Your melanin in your hair. Why do you think they try to tan themselves, such and so forth, right? The melanin is already a protection. Your hair is already a protection. Your hair itself is the protective hairstyle. God made you perfect. Right. God made you perfect. So to throw something on and call it a protective hairstyle, and I still find it quite ironic how they have more shame in their hair more than they do their bodies. They'll cover their hair faster than they cover their bodies in today's society. So that goes to show, no matter the size of the woman, because a woman could be 300 pounds with a bust down and be half naked out here, So that goes to show how much shame they have in their own hair and not even putting forth the effort into their either their hygiene or their internal bodies, right? So this is deeper than rap, ladies and gentlemen. This is a multi-layered problem that we do have with our women, and it's crazy how other people always bring up other races to a degree, but when we bring up other races, they'll say, well, either you're color struck or you're anti-Black if you want to deal with another race. Well, isn't that the same thing when Black women want to deal with another race's hair instead of their own? You would think TLC comes with things that you love, right? Tend to love and care. So why don't the Black woman take time out? Why don't these mothers take time out to get to their daughters, to actually have them understand the nature of their hair, what works for them, so they can actually get the juice of what helps makes the Black woman the Black woman. It's the mothers that definitely have to teach them, but they're so far on the go. I'd rather throw this on and then call it a day. So what happens when that happens, right? When the daughters see their mothers and thinking, Mama only gets pretty when she puts on this wig. Mama only have this type of energy when she puts on this, that, and the third. So that would further put that ideal in her hair, in the young lady's hair, in our daughter's heads, right? To think, well, I'm only pretty when I have bone straight hair. Right. And that's not even the case. So when it comes to the workforce and whatnot, I believe two things can be true at the same time. Okay. But once again, it's 2025, right? It's 2025. As powerful as the Black women are, as many degrees that they boast and brag about, if you're having these many problems with YT spaces and them going in on your hair, why not hire your own sisters? Why not say, well, hell, we don't have to deal with their way of life. Black woman, you know what a black woman going through. There's no such thing as a bad hair day when it comes to a black woman. Only to the people who feel like the black woman's hair is a threat. And that's what the big problem and the big issue is. They taught them to cover what they felt makes them them, which is a threat. They know the black woman was more alive, was more vibrant, was more just the all around epitome of beauty. Why you think they made certain dresses, right? Especially when it came to body style, the dresses where they had the big hump in the back. That's to imitate the black woman. Why you think they have the black woman breastfeed their babies? Just to help them give. It's deeper than rap, ladies and gentlemen. And why don't you think it actually it everything about black people, the black woman in particular, screams the alpha and omega of any and everything. And I hear it, I get it, ladies and gentlemen. Well, if we can create all the races and such and so forth, yada yada. But the exceptions don't make the rule. The exceptions don't make the rule. I get that there's different tribes in Africa and such and so forth. We don't want to bring it back to all the kings and queens. How many kings and queens do you actually think there were back then to actually allow their quote unquote slaves or the minions, right, to wear wigs or weaves if it was such a prestigious outlook? They wasn't allowed to do so. Only those type of people, the hierarchies, not the below, not the benevolent, not the peasants. So everybody, we always throw up the king and queen stuff, but everybody wasn't kings and queens. So we have to get that understood, please, ladies and gentlemen. We have to get that understood.
Really quick,
go ahead.
Coco, is he speaking facts or is he speaking facts? What do you think?
I think he's speaking facts. I am pro natural. However, I feel like where the disconnect is that we want to ignore the many nuances as to why women wear wigs and boil it down to something so trivial. And then we also don't give tangible solutions to the problem, in my opinion. I understand if y'all disagree, but we can't ignore that there is a beauty standard that's being pushed in the media, that there is workplaces that discriminate, and that in schools as well. So like if people are growing up with this trauma, growing up being told that their hair is a problem, being told their hair is a problem at home, being told their hair well, not really outwardly told at work, but being nitpicked about little things here and there in a way where you can't quite catch them. So then you're being gaslit, and then you also got to figure out how to pay your bills, how to navigate the dating spaces, etc. So like it's the work is going to be a lot, and we got to target at least one of these big hit points instead of just saying, Black women, y'all need to stop wearing wigs, and maybe y'all wouldn't be so bald headed, because that's not going to get them to listen. Like, that's just going to make people shut down, shut it off. And I get attention. Men like my wigs, and they're going to ignore you. I got a job. Like, they're going to ignore you. They're not going to go natural by shame and ignoring what they're saying is a problem. You hear me?
Right. So, Blue Heart, what did you have to say to her response?
Yeah, she makes some good points. But once again, in my opinion, right, I think the solution is in the problem. If our women complain about if our women complain about the beauty standards and saying, well, if this is the beauty standards and to get a job or this, that, and the third, I mean, like someone asked earlier, why hasn't there been a major lawsuit? I get it. Yeah, they can probably do things underhanded and say, well, I just don't like her at this door. I just don't, yada yada yada. So I did like your response when it did came to well, if you didn't get the job, would you blame it on your straight hair then? If that's the case, like that was pretty much spot on. So it's either you're qualified or either you're not, and we can't admit and we cannot negate the fact of attractiveness. Period. Right. So there are undesirable people, and there could be bust downs on undesirable people. That don't make them any more beautiful just because they got a bust down, right? So or natural hair. There's just attractive people and unattractive people, undesirables, right? So when it comes to her response, let me double back on it. I think once again the black woman is still too powerful to have these excuses. Right. The black woman is literally, in my opinion, they critique and not they get upset when black men have a say so or want to have a say so on black women's hair and say we're policing the black woman's hair, but subconsciously society is policing your hair. Society is telling you what to do, what is acceptable, because it seems like these bust downs are viral, damn near like herpes, right? Yeah, or the HIV, right? The side part, the swoop, the whole baby, quote unquote baby hair, and they cut off the front pieces of their hair just to have the fake baby hair. That just doesn't make any sense. Like, I'm still trying to figure out in what level of sanity, and it shows texturism, right? That shows that there is it's like colorism, but there's texturism. You thinking that this texture of hair is better than your kinky or corally edges. So what this shit don't lay down? That's a black woman. Right. You want to slick it down for what? To make to give it the I guess perceived polished look. But black woman, all you have to do is just present yourself as a polished woman. And that'll solve all of that. Just be a polished individual. They don't mind taking the aesthetics from other races do it too. Well, why don't you acquiesce or do what other races do too? Right? Like, listen to your man, or be more polite, smile more. Like I just think they pick and choose what they want to pick or what they want to take, from other races. That's when they bring in, that's only when they bring in, other races, because other men of other cultures aren't complaining about their women's hair because they're getting things, right? If they get the clip-ins or whatever, they're getting things that simulate or that resembles their natural hair. They're not having a disparity. They're not putting up beauty stores in their neighborhoods just so our women could flock to that every weekend, every other day, just so they can actually try to take care of, quote unquote, their hair, when they're actually doing a lot more damage than they are good.
Big facts. And Malachi, what response do you have to that, if you have one?
I just, again, I think it's hypocritical. I think that to my man's point that just spoke, he's saying that about, black women are trying to almost, deny the idea of women having struggles going on to jobs, as if white people aren't doing that. Black people, I know me as a black man, I deal with the same questions and or at least I pay attention to the idea of, okay, when I go on this job, I have to get an edge up. I have to get my, make sure that I look neat when I go on this job. These clothes that are given to us are not coming from Africa. They're coming from a white standard, like a European culture. And a lot of times women, they have to pay bills, you know what I'm saying? So they're going to, if she feels as though this is going to help me get the job, she's going to assimilate. Even the way that black men, we code switch. That's a thing that's neutral between black women and black men. And I think the key to it all is to stop comparing and stop, whether you realize it or not, when you're policing these black women and saying, well, these black these white men are looking at you like this, like that, and it's not. Like, when you stop comparing and stop being so, if anything, that Black person who is doing that has an insecurity about our past. When you stop paying attention and focusing on that, we can start making our own rules and stop focusing on a trauma that happened to us years and years ago. I'm not saying that all people do it healthy. I'm not saying all women do it. I know that there are Black women who do it in a very negative way, who don't have the character, who aren't making sure that they're keeping themselves healthy. There's a lot of stuff that Black men, or men period, or humanity does, men, male or female, that's not necessarily healthy for them or unhealthy. But for us, we have to start making our decision of how we want to live our culture. And at some point, we're going to have to stop looking at our past and our trauma saying, well, that came from them. So that's what happened right then and there, when there was a whole, Africa existed thousands and thousands of years of so much innovation and so much everything, until we start making our own culture and saying what we want it to look like women are doing. And I think that's the majority, where they're not looking at it as, I want to be white. I don't think that's on the first thing on their mind. I want to be white when I get my hair done like this. It's not. I think that they're just being women. And I think that, like I made that point the other day, when it comes to even cross-dressers and them putting on wigs, I don't think they're saying in their heads, I want to be a white woman today. I just want to be white. I think he's saying, I want to be a feminine woman. And he's celebrating the beauty of feminism. And the same way Black women are celebrating their feminism. And I think that we just, because I know for sure, people that got dreads, they're not, especially men, I know daggone well, when you go on a job, you're like, I got dreads in my head, this white man's gonna be looking at me like, boom, 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 I'm a weed smoker or whatever the case may be. Or I'm just like a trapping type dude. And you have to dress that up and make sure that they understand that you're there to be professional. You're gonna put on the voice that you need to put on so white people think that you're polite. And it's only but so much of that where you're gonna have to stop looking at white people saying, well, what are they gonna think and how I should look and I should talk nicer. No, at a certain point, you're gonna have to do what you do and be yourself and start the businesses and start gaining back territory. Stop tearing down Black women, all of it.
So yeah, Blue Heart. It looks like you have dreads. So how do you feel about what he just said?
Yeah, I wanted to speak to that. I think it's I don't see any validity there to a degree. Well, I can actually say two things can be true, right? For the Black man who is quote unquote unkept. We can't act like grooming isn't a thing. Even in Africa, there was still grooming, ladies and gentlemen. They taught the YT people how to what? Fucking wash, right? So we can't act like grooming is a form of assimilating when all it is just making yourself presentable, point blank, period. But when it comes to locks, I've never had an issue with that per se, because I know how to articulate myself, right? I know if I'm going to go in there, I'm going to land. I land damn near 95% of the jobs that I've ever had due to my mannerisms, due to my politeness, due to me knowing how to speak to get a job, not because of my hair. I know that can be, my hair is stereotypical, right? But my hair, my locks are small, right? So it is easier kept, and it does look groomed. So I chose a hairstyle, right, that's native, that's natural, right? Even if I did manipulate it, and that's one of the crazy parts about it. When they complain about shrinkage or they can't do this because their hair do this and this, that, and the third. That's the reason why your hair does what it does. Because when you manipulate it to do something it's not supposed to do, Black people hair are made for locks. They're supposed to lock. When you don't touch it, guess what it's going to do? It's going to mat up. Now, how you style it is on you. You got Bantu knots, even when it comes to cornrows and braids and things like that, right? So, me personally, yeah, I've never had that issue when it comes to my hair, sir. So.
For you though, you can confirm though that is an idea that most white people aren't going to be comfortable with black men with dreads coming at their job. Can you say yes, you believe that or no?
I can't even say that, sir, because of the widespread of locks. Because there's some professionals with locks who work in corporate America. So,
do you think that white people understand black dreadlocks though on black people, or is it intimidating?
It's not. I'd have to be white to actually say that, because if I show up to a job and they are in awe about my hair, right? Just like how some women, some black women, ladies, tell me if I'm wrong. When you're wearing your natural hair, do white tea people not come up and give you compliments or ask, well, how do your hair do that? Because they look at it as a phenom, right? So I wouldn't think that would deter, or they'll probably be curious, like, oh man, how do black people get their hair like that?
Do you believe that some though?
Say it again.
Do you think some white people are intimidated?
Possibly.
And
possibly.
Then if you came to your job speaking in a normal, where you just said that you had a fixture, you know how to talk and articulate yourself, why not just go to the job and speak with your regular colloquialisms or your regular voice or pattern or whatever the case may be? Why do you feel like you have to dress it up?
Because there's a time and a place for everything. Having decorum is necessary to get through life.
But you said you know how to dress it up, or you know how to articulate in a way where people look at you at a certain way in a European language. So you're showing white people, hey, I can speak your language and I can speak it very proper. In order for you to hire me, my dreads aren't a problem if you're intimidated by them. And as much as you say that, as a black man, I know me, I don't have dreads. Me going on a job and not having my afro looking a certain way, whether it's curly or whatever the case may be, and I might feel a little bit more comfortable if I put gel in my hair and make it curly. So they're not intimidated. So they're not thinking that I'm just some random ghetto boy coming in on a job. I know me, and I'm an actual teacher. I know me going into my job in my professional places, there's certain things that I can't do.
Right, after Blue goes, I would like to speak on that.
Yes, okay, go ahead.
No, I'll go after you.
Yeah, so once again, I think only ignorant people would come into it. Yeah, cuz, man, yeah, I just need this.
No, didn't say that.
This job, man.
That's something else.
Okay, right, but right. So once again, just like how I'm speaking to you, I would speak to you. This is the same way I would speak to a YT person if I was on an interview, right? I'm responding so you can get a clarification and a clear consensus on who you're talking to. I'm not just some blase blah. You may have the first look impression, right? But when I open my mouth, it's, oh, he's more than that, right? So when it comes to the women, and especially when they say, well, we are more than our hair, why spend so many hours in the salon doing your hair? Because you know that hair is a part of you. Your hair is a statement. Your hair defines certain things. So when you cover or you choose another race of hair to deal with, to say that I'm conforming, you're doing what they want you to do on the outer appearance, not the inner appearance. You'll have to win the interview or anything like that from your inner thoughts or your dialogue with the person. Mm-hmm. Right. So that's my opinion.
I think, but I'm sorry, Coco, so I'm gonna let you speak. But just that point that you just said right there, I think that it is very dismissive, or the idea that you're trying to present this thing as, I think that it's inevitable for Black people right now to walk into this society and not feel like we have to assimilate. So even though you're dressing it up and saying what you're saying, there is a energy that we have to, as Black people, have to do that white people don't have to do when they go on their job. When Black people go to the job, for every Black person, we're trying to convince them that we are not the idea of what Black people have been portrayed to be. We have an extra mile to go. And the fact that we have that extra mile to go in an interview or anywhere that we go with white people to justify that I am human before I'm my hair, or human before I am my culture, or whatever the case may be, or whatever typical idea that you have of Black people, it goes into saying that we are all trying to assimilate. Again, we're not speaking our native language. We're not wearing our native clothes. If you go in there with a Jaffe or whatever they're called, like a African, whatever the case may be, and you go in there, that they're going to look at you like you're crazy. You know, it's crazy to say that as a Black person, we're not trying to go that extra mile to make them believe that my hair is not intimidating or I'm not intimidating to you. That's a thing that all Black people
I
have.
said possible. Well, sir, I said possibly. I didn't negate the fact that what you said was completely wrong. I said yes, that is definitely possible, and I'm not going to say that it doesn't happen, because the Black man, period, in this society, this YT America, we always had to fly to what YT man could walk to. So of course, there's some things you have to do that is a bit more polished. You have to present yourself a bit differently but you're not going to change who I am. I'm gonna assimilate to get this job, yes, but that's just on my vernacular. That's just because I know how to speak. I was on this one job interview where I got the job, and the guy who came in before me was a YT guy. The manager said that guy just didn't know how to speak. It felt like he lied on his his application, and said that he was he had experience, and it was doing what the fuck was it? It was inventory management in cabinets, and I landed the job before him. So so.
Yeah, it's still subjective, but it is still a global influence, or else we wouldn't have words like code switch. It's something that is well known around the world, that this is what we do in order to assimilate.
I mean, you code switch with your family in most cases, right? You know how to speak to your mom. You can't say certain things to your mom, to the way you speak to your brothers, your siblings, or sisters, or whatnot. Like everybody code switch. No one puts on a face that everyone likes all the time, or that they are familiar with or comfortable with all the time. Everybody.
But our conversation is based around race, not about family and relationships. We're talking about race being a factor that plays a role where females have to, or sometimes feel like they have to, or they feel intimidated in the workplace, and they feel like they have to straighten their hair. That's something.
Real quick, let Crochet go ahead and respond real quick.
Yeah, so I want to add 2 points. The first point is that when it comes to like AAVE, I think it's just inappropriate to use that in the workplace because it's a professional setting. So even I know when I go into like any type of business, I don't want to talk to you like you're my friend. Like I want you to be professional. Like we only use that around like people who we're familiar with or on social media. So it's not that you have to like act white or like code switch in a sense, but it's not because like, oh, we're not accepted, or no, it's just like it's a professional setting, and in a professional setting, you have to talk a certain way. Same thing like when you talk to your mom, like what Blue brought up, like you're not going to say, hey girl, what's up? Like you're not saying that to your mom. You're going to be like respectful, but it's a certain way you speak to people, just depending on the setting. And number 2, I just want to bring up, so the former White House press secretary, she was a dark-skinned Black woman, and she always wore her natural hair. Like either if she didn't wear her natural hair, she wore a wig that was emulating her natural hair. Maybe she just wanted it to be longer, but I've never seen her straighten her hair, not one time. And like she was always in the camera, like because she was the press secretary. So I just think it's interesting how like why didn't she feel the need to like straighten her hair? Like because and I'm not saying like it's not a real thing. It's just that we're making it bigger than what it really is. Like she literally wore her natural hair all the time.
But I think that for her instance, it's subjective again. And that's why I said this argument around this stuff is subjective, because it depends. Subjective is going to be like, it depends on that specific person and the reason why they do it. I would go, I don't know that specific lady, but I would go to say that even with, I think it's public knowledge that Michelle Obama, they were talking about her hair. Or even when Beyonce and the way that she was wearing, letting Blue Ivy wear her hair at first, and the whole world had a problem with it. And it just kind of reiterated this point, or kind of put it in everybody's face, that there is an intimidation that comes about Black hair. And to the point that, Michelle Obama, I think they started, I think it's public knowledge about like how that whole thing happened around her, or even Blue Ivy. I think those are two good examples. And the Black woman that you're talking about, her personal experiences, I guarantee I don't know her as fact, but I guarantee you she probably dealt with, or making a conscious choice to do that. She had her trials that came with it.
I agree. We're always like, just being Black, you're always gonna like, it's always gonna be a fight in this world because we're Black. Like, is that to say we shouldn't wear our natural hair anymore because people are gonna say stuff? Like, I don't think so. You just have to push past that, and not to say like, oh, just ignore it. No, of course, like, it's hurtful to hear those type of things about your hair, but like, the alternative is putting on a wig. And I feel like that's kind of the same thing as selling your soul, like, because you're denying a part of yourself. Like, literally, God made you with this hair, but you're like, no, I want to assimilate and fit into this white culture, so I'm going to put on the wig. So it's like, essentially, you're just not accepting yourself, and you're selling yourself to fit in and to get a job.
You know what? But I think my point is the point. I don't think that, because my thing is not to tell Black women to put on wigs or weaves or whatever the case may be, but let it be your choice, and just have the character to back it up and say, to take care of your hair. Because there's plenty of women, plenty of celebrities that's wearing wigs, weaves, and they have healthier hair than the women that, are doing it other ways. They're able to keep their healthy hair. Just because you wear a wig or weave or extension doesn't mean that it's unhealthy or you're killing yourself, because there's plenty of women that's doing it, living very long. But it's your choice. And I think that for men, especially Black men, to come and try to give this opinionated, hypocritical argument, this one-sided thing, and just to blanket the statement saying you're trying to be like white women, I think that that's just hypocritical, insensitive, and wrong. I think it's subjective, and I think that we're past trying to look white or be white. I think it has its influence, but I think we Black people, because of the resilience, has turned it into something the same way the haircut has turned into something different than what white people intended it to be. And I think it's your choice.
Okay,
so, Shimon, one question, if I could. What was I about to say? So are you saying these wigs and weaves are specifically because we're bringing up workplaces and this, that, and the third? You mean to tell me all of these bust downs, all of these side parts, side wigs, and this, that, and the third are for work purposes, or they just what?
I think that, again, is subjective for each and every woman. But if it was what I would
generally, sir, generally.
In general, I think that the lady, she's choosing what she wants to do for that day. I think women are not one dimensional or just like a monolith, or they're not just like one-sided. Every woman, they're going to have their own subjective point of view of why they want to do it. But I would encourage women, hey, don't ever feel like you have to cover your hair at a workplace, if that's the case, or don't feel like you have to cover your hair ever. And you're never going to hear me discriminate you or disrespect you about you wearing a weave, extension, or whatever the case may be. But whatever you do it because it's you and not you comparing yourself to white people and feel like you have to fit into a standard.
I think they're comparing themselves to other Black women, because I've only in our race seen other Black women shame other Black women for not having a $500. They'll go on and brag about having their hair installation, and the hair itself costs more than the person's another woman's car note.
But I think that woman has a right to be her person. But if she has that type of mentality, she has a character that is flawed, and that's nothing to do with wanting to be white. That's somebody that doesn't have the right education. And that's why I said that I think that we're doing, if we try to blanket that experience and say that's all Black women, that's the same thing that white people do every day, trying to put us in one box and saying that we can't be more than just one dimensional or more, or have a variety of personalities. And you're robbing Black women of being human. The same way Black men are human. We have different reasons of why we get our hair cut, whether we want to impress that girl, whatever the case may be. And we try to embarrass, other Black people saying, yo, you ain't even got your fade. Like, you look dusty right now, or whatever the case may be. We embarrass them, but this was a practice that was taught to us again by Europeans. And so I think it's hypocritical again, like a Black man trying to call out Black women and blanket a statement saying that they're trying to be white. It's not that difficult. I mean, easy for you. It's not a one-sided, blanket statement for yourself as a Black man. So why are you doing that to Black women?
So you could speak in generalities and saying that trying to be white isn't the case, but you don't see some instances to where they would do this to get closer to whiteness or to assimilate to YT hood.
I think it's subjective. Again, like I think that the whole globe is going through that right now. It's not just Black America, it's people in Brazil, it's everyone, and I think that, and that's why I said to Trey the other day, I said, white people, they're not looking at, Jennifer Aniston saying they want to be like Jennifer Aniston. I can't speak for Black women, but I don't imagine them saying, I want to be like Jennifer Aniston. I can see them saying they're looking at Beyonce, Cardi B, and being influenced by them. And I think our history is influenced by it, but I think we turned it into something, different, like our music and hairstyles, food, whatever the case may be. It's all kind of justifying my point of view and saying that we don't have to be stuck and stagnant because of one trauma and base it off of that. I think that you can do something beyond that and not be because of the trauma that happened to you. It's not because of that. It's subjective, really, for that person. But it is something that influenced at one point in time. But I don't think that's for the majority of Black women nowadays. I think we just turned it into something dope. But I would encourage Black women. I do know that there is an epidemic where girls are just doing everything for just a wig or whatever the case may be, and they don't want to show their real hair. And for those women, I would say your hair is beautiful. You're beautiful, and I would never disrespect you. Even if you did wear the wig, I'm not going to disrespect you. I want you to understand that I love you, though, and that you're beautiful. Your skin, your mind, your personality, and I'm not comparing you off of white standards, but you're beautiful.
Okay, so really quick, Crochet, what last words do you have for the people? I'm gonna go ahead and end the live soon. I'm tired, bro. So I'm gonna let y'all say your last points, and then we're gonna head out of here.
Yeah, I want to say that Black women wear natural hair. You do not have to acquiesce to white society to live. Many Black women have jobs today and they wear their natural hair. So if you wore your natural hair to one job interview and you got denied, just keep applying and you're eventually going to get a job. So yeah, wear your natural hair. We love Black women with natural hair. Black women forever, snow bunnies never.
All right, you have a great night. What about you, Blue Heart?
Yeah, once again, brother, great podcast, great podcast, great panel, man. Love the back and forth, and in my opinion, I just think it's kind of anti-Black. I think, like I said, there's nothing more beautiful than the Black woman, and the sooner she realizes that, I think the sooner we'll see a change in a lot of the behavior, and realizing who we actually are, or trying to get back to a semblance of what and where we need to be, especially when it comes to confidence in basically, like she said earlier, not assimilating to what they say is beautiful. I land.
I appreciate that. I appreciate you coming up, bro. Like you had a lot of points that I've never even thought about either. So I definitely will be using some of those. You're going to hear some of those in my videos.
Take it, brother. Take it. Use this one too. Use this one too. Ask Black women how would they feel if Black men treated them like they treat their hair. If every time you feel like you need to step out and you feel beautiful or pretty when you're wearing Becky's hair, Marisol's hair, Maylene's hair, imagine your Black man telling you, no, Black woman, you stay home. I'm going to take Maylene out, Marisol out, because their hair is more beautiful than yours, and I'm having a protective woman hair, protective woman lifestyle.
That's good. I'm gonna definitely.
Besides, black woman, I'm protecting you. I'm protecting you, black woman. I'm protecting you. You stay home. You stay home. I don't want nobody to see you. You stay home. Yeah, that's it.
That would be a crazy concept, bro. I'm gonna definitely use that joint. I appreciate you, bro. You have a great rest of your night. What about you, Malachi?
I would say to just all females, you know, be yourself. Whoever's out there that is and build your character and get educated, whoever's out there that does wear wigs or weaves or feel the need to do it because you are ashamed of your hair, that's a character problem. And I would encourage you to do more self-exploration to figure out who you are and who you want to be and what you're willing to fight for and stand up for and be in this world, because you're beautiful. Your natural hair is beautiful. I also want to say to women who do wear weaves and find the beauty of it, I think that it's your natural right and in your femininity. I don't think any male has a right to kind of intimidate you out of being feminine in any type of way that you want to explore or innovate with that. I encourage people to dive more into learning about your continent, Africa, understand the different nations that exist there and what they look like. We come in many different shades, hair textures, straight to curly to coarse, and it's all beautiful. And it's your choice, but definitely educate yourselves. And for the Black men, I would tell them to really put a reflector glass against yourselves, and then try to make sure that you're not being hypocrites, and ask yourself, what are you doing to assimilate to this white culture, and what are you doing to add to it? Um, and the last thing is just everybody needs to understand that freedom, again, is your right to be evil or good. It's not based off of your color. And for somebody just to have an aha moment or to laugh at you, to prove what they already intend for you to do, you have a right to be yourself. You have the right to express yourself and innovate and be creative with your life in so many different ways. And so I just encourage you with that, and educate yourselves. You're beautiful, and build your character, and make sure you're living what you preach.
All right. I think I definitely do disagree with a lot of the things that you say, but I do appreciate you coming up here and being respectful, because I don't know like how many people have been a part of my lives, but most times there's a lot of like little girls, 18, 19 years old, that just start cussing at me and stuff. So I appreciate people like you that keep it respectful, and then still convey your point. So yeah, I appreciate that, bro.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you saying that, and I appreciate you respecting your guests when we come on. All right, man. And I love the conversation because it still educates people and allows them to take whatever they want out of it, not to force them. So appreciate it.
I appreciate you. Have a good night.
You too.
All right. What about you, Coco? I know you didn't really say too much, but what last words you got for the people?
My last words is that we should be more patient with our brothers and sisters. We didn't create these struggles, and in order for us to truly make connection and have tangible solutions, we need to be a little more open and validating of their feelings. And that's really about it. Thanks for having me up.
You're welcome. You have a great rest of your night. All right, y'all. So my bad to the people that did not get to join tonight. If you want to join another live in the future, definitely hit that follow button. Somebody asked me in the comment section, appreciate the gift, bro. Oh yeah, I appreciate everybody who sent gifts tonight as well. Definitely much appreciated. But somebody asked me before, do you have to be melanated to join? No, you do not. I wasn't letting anybody up anymore just because I was trying to wind down because I need to go to bed. I'm not gonna lie to you. But yeah, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Is it subscribe? Hit the follow button. I'm thinking of YouTube, my bad. Hit the follow button if you want to join the live in the future.